from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. The Wisconsin men's basketball team on to the quarterfinal round of the Big Ten tournament in Chicago. A surprising nail-biter yesterday, 85-82, the official final score, as the Badgers, the number 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament, defeat 12-seed Washington. Wisconsin led by as many as 18 points in the second half before a ferocious late comeback by the Huskies came up just short. A career-best 34 points for John Blackwell, leading the way for the Badgers. Had a double-double, 34 and 10. Nick Boyd added 23. Wisconsin wins, and they face Illinois right away this afternoon. 1:30 approximate tip time in Chicago for 5-seed Wisconsin and 4-seed Illinois. Watch it on the Big Ten Network, and a second screen experience, a watch-along on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel starting at 1:30, featuring some of your favorite ESPN Madison personalities. Bucks lose last night 112-105 against the Miami Heat. Wilde and Tausch starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
It is the Friday edition. We have something special planned, and that is a pun edition. Because Homer and I were having a conversation last night, and I forgot that he would be joining me as the cousin sub of the day. So we can do what I suggested we do next week, Today edition. And I need to know more about Uncle Homer's trip to New York. He's had some situations during his trips to New York previously. I'm hoping the only situation that he had this time, other than Marquette losing, was sitting in the vestibule of Madison Square Garden and getting booted and getting a lot of McDonald's while he was there. Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on the amazing, stupendous, fantastic, incredible ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Good morning, Jesse.
Morning, Mr. Wilde.
Did you watch Wisconsin, Washington yesterday?
Did I watch Wisconsin-Washington yesterday? The ESPN Madison team had a watch-along on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel for the game yesterday. We enjoyed it, had a great time. Over 1,000 viewers joined us to take in the experience, and we're going to run it back today with Wisconsin and Illinois at 1:30.
We look forward to Mark Tauscher's reports from the Big Ten tournament in Chicago in his stead as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. It is the aforementioned legend, the GOAT of Wisconsin sports talk radio history. It is Steve the Homer True from the Gruberl offices, One Call That's All Studios. Steven, good morning.
Yes.
Hi.
Good morning. I'm happy because they delayed the Bob Harlan funeral so that I don't have to deal with the storm or whatever's coming.
They did, and not just for you, but for a lot of people. I know Ron Wolf was flying in on Sunday for it, and so he and Edie had to change their travel
Well, it was
plans.
not for me. I didn't want to make people think that.
Believe me,
grateful.
I don't think anyone thought that the Harlans changed it expressly for you, as beloved as you are. They didn't change it for me either, because Monday would have worked better for me, because I live in town and I'm not traveling a great distance through a snowstorm. I'm glad you're back. You were actually back in time yesterday for us, or for me, to join you on the Homer Hour. How can you fill people in? The last time our listeners on Wilde and Tausch heard from you, you were being, I don't want to say forcibly removed from the Madison Square Garden entryway.
It was not forcibly removed.
But you were being removed, and then you were claiming you were going to go back.
No, she just said
soon as she
move.
left.
And I did. I could have, but it really wasn't that big a deal.
So you
she
never
asked me
actually
to move,
moved?
and I did. No, I did move,
And
but
then
I
you went
never
back.
moved back. And I said when she left, she kind of stayed in the area, and she looked like, you can tell by the security people that are a little more serious than others. And I think if I had gone back where I was, she would have come back, and this time not have been so kind. I didn't want to test that because I didn't want that to be that big a part of the show. So I just walked around a little bit, and everything was fine.
So do you think you would have left in
And by the way, I
handcuffs?
don't eat that much at McDonald's.
You have 112,000 points.
Well, that's from eating at McDonald's in Milwaukee, not in New York. But I do, if you say you go to McDonald's in New York, people are offended, understandably so, because there's so much great food. And there are a number of other places I could go to. I have to. There's a breakfast place that's really neat right next to our hotel. But New York is so expensive. I don't want to spend $25 for breakfast when I can go to Dunkin' Donuts and get a cup of coffee or whatever. I can do it much less, and then also McDonald's. But no, I have the 110,000 points not from eating all the time in New York. But I would think most people you meet or know when they go to New York, they don't ever eat at McDonald's.
No, you're special in that way. So how many times did you eat at McDonald's during your visit to New York?
This time once.
Okay, just once. So incredible.
And I was seated
fortitude.
there. I like to sit there. Most people leave, and a lady came up and wanted to sit next to me.
So you made a
And
friend.
I thought, no, we definitely did make a friend. I didn't talk. She didn't talk to me. But I looked around, and I thought, wow. And then I looked around, and I saw, compared to the other few seats available, I was the better choice. The two other places that had a seat available, it looked like the people sitting there were most likely to ask you for money at some point.
Okay.
Which happens. There's a guy at the Dunkin' Donuts, and I admit I'm a little bit fascinated by it. There's a guy at the Dunkin' Donuts who opens the door for you. Mm-hmm. And then opens it when you leave,
Expects
and
a
he's
gratuity.
expecting money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. So do I feel bad? Clearly not, or I would do it. But Should I feel bad? Should I give him some money?
So you know who I always feel, and it's been a very long time since I've been in one of these establishments.
Sorry to get off topic here. You want to talk about the
Packers.
I have another topic about Miami of Ohio.
I'm sorry, are you new here?
Oh, I'd love to talk about Miami, Ohio.
We'll get to that with our basketball guy.
Okay.
But we get off topic. That's kind of our brand. I'm curious, the people that I feel bad about not, I guess, tipping or paying, and it's been a long time since I've been in one of these places, but the bathroom attendant, where he's got like the cologne and the mints and the combs and the juice. What's your policy on that? Because in New York, I'm sure there's lots of places like that. Not that you.
In New York, it's always been this way. You tip for everything but breathing. It's just, I remember when we first started going. What is going on here? Do I just have to have dollars around for everybody? Hi. Oh, that's $1. It's just crazy. Now I feel I do that once in a while because I feel like if those people weren't there, it'd be a mess. It's like when you go into a store sometime and there's so few people there and you think you want to be mad at them or they're not very good. And then you think, dude, if they weren't here, it'd be even worse. So I will do that once in a while now even though I think that it's not necessary.
Okay. There's a whole topic to be had on tipping and the whole idea of you order at the counter. I saw, was it J.J. Watt who posted this earlier in the week? He goes to a place where you order at the counter, you get your food yourself, and when you put your order in, you're given the option of tipping 20, 25%, or 30%. Now, J.J. Watt's made a lot more than us normal people, but the principle of the thing, I found that very interesting because we are.
Well, tipping used to be 15%. I'm 71. Tipping was 15%. Till I would say 10 years ago. I don't know when it changed.
But you didn't tip everyone for
15%
everything.
Done. That's correct, yes.
Like ordering at the counter.
Now there's a tipping thing. No, getting coffee. Or yes, you are asked to tip for people doing things that aren't really tip worthy.
I'm a rounder upper, so whatever the total is, I round up to the next dollar. That's as far as I go on those types of tips.
I didn't thought it's for tipping or charity. Is that I'm confused about that?
Yeah, they have that too. Yeah, they have both. You could do both. Okay. All right, you're back from New York because the Marquette Golden Eagles went down to defeat. They did not have that rematch with the UConn Huskies. I am curious. We don't talk Marquette.
By the way, I cannot bet because I do college basketball, but I will admit I told people, bet everything you can on UConn destroying Xavier. And those who listened to me did well. They beat them by like 25. I'm really disappointed. I thought Marquette had gotten better, and so they get another chance at UConn just to know that UConn would want to kill them too. And no, they just reverted back to what they were most of the season.
So we don't talk a lot of Marquette on this program at your own behest.
Nope.
But we're going to do it for about 3 minutes here because you were very excited after that win over UConn.
That's forever.
I've told you many times that I really like Shaka Smart. I am curious where you feel about 2026-27 season for Marquette because they obviously took their lumps this year.
Right. They'll be in the tournament for sure. You need more than that?
Yeah, I'm looking for a little more.
They're freshmen. The three good ones will be good. And then I believe that he has stated that he'll enter the transfer portal. And he didn't go into the transfer portal in the past, I believe, because he didn't think he needed to. His assessment of the talent he had on the team was way off. And the freshmen are good. So the players coming back will be good. They've said they're coming back. Nigel James, who was the Big East freshman of the year, and as a freshman had the highest scoring average in conference play since Carmelo Anthony in 2003. So they should be good next year, and he'll have to add some players, and I think he will because while he's a great person and the majority of humanity feels the same way you do, he's also even more competitive than people realize because he hides that pretty well, and there's no way he's putting up with this again.
Did you like
it was embarrassing?
Did you like the fact that he was, I don't want to say anti-transfer portal, but he took great pride in the fact that he wasn't getting people out of it, nor were his people leaving to go into it?
It's nice if the players you keep are good. It's all about winning. If you don't win, I mean, if Shaka Smart had another season next year like this one, he'd be at the risk of getting fired. You can lose, but you can't embarrass. This season was embarrassing other than the one game that made it memorable, and that was the win over UConn. And they seem to be getting better, and that was the result of more playing time for the young players, so it bodes well for next year. But, yes, you'd prefer to keep people, but if they aren't any good, who wants to keep them? You can't. You got to change the team almost every year to some degree.
Yes, and that is why I'm less excited.
And it worked well. It worked well. He wasn't against the portal. He didn't need the portal because they were winning. The players he had, he liked, and they were good. Now the ones he liked weren't good enough. So guess what? We got to go into the portal.
Yeah,
because we need better players.
I did respect that about him. I understand, but you're right. It's about winning, and that has been our Marquette 2 minutes, because Homer doesn't generally discuss Marquette on this program. We are going to discuss what you and I started briefly to. Did you put your list together after I ended my appearance on your program? I think
no, but I do want to. I do want to talk. I do want to lead with Miami because I think it's very important. Miami should not be in the tournament, and this is not. This is just so easy. There's a history of the NCAA tournament. If you do what Miami did, you're out. In a smaller conference, you must win your postseason tourney. And regular season is meaningless. All those schools and all those conferences have known it for 30 years. And if you have a great regular season, you damn well better not lose to the 8th seed in your first conference tournament game. They have no business being in the tournament, and anybody that follows the tournament knows that. And if you want to be nice and put them in because people are so upset about college basketball with money and all those other parts of it, fine. They have no business in the tournament, and every person, 100%, who have followed the history of the tournament know that.
Jesse Nelson has a strong opinion on this, almost as strong as yours.
Not possible.
Miami, Ohio should go to the first four, and they should play Auburn, and it would be incredible drama because the big debate in college basketball over the last 2 weeks, in part spurred on by former UW-Milwaukee head coach Bruce Pearl, was comparing. Of course, he coached at Auburn also, and
his son took over
in allegiance to Auburn, saying that Auburn, who lost yesterday in their conference tournament, deserves to be in the tournament more than Miami, Ohio. At this point, if the committee wants to entertain us and have the highest rating ever for a first four game in Dayton, they would put Miami, Ohio against Auburn. And even though Auburn may not deserve to be in compared to a couple of other teams in front of them now on the bubble,
more than Miami,
it would be worth it. And sorry to Oklahoma or whoever else, Indiana, whoever's on the bubble that wouldn't get in because of that, because the drama and the fun that would come from that particular matchup in the first four in Dayton, and the Miami, Ohio's not that far from Dayton. Those fans would come over and they would fill that place up and cheer them on. It would be awesome theater if that ended up being the case. It probably won't because of how the bubble's starting to play out. Auburn looks like they're on the way out, but that would be the best possible storyline to kick off the NCAA tournament next week in Dayton.
I would agree with that, but that has nothing to do with whether or not they should be in the tournament.
I'm in a group text with a bunch of
maybe
the guys.
You want to have somebody in because you're a friend of the equipment manager. That makes about as much sense.
I'm in a group text with a bunch of guys that said you have to let them in. They went undefeated in the regular season. They can't not be in.
That means nothing. Yes, people, that means nothing. Those schools and those conferences have known for 30 years you must win your postseason tournament unless there's a rare instance of where your teams are pretty good in your conference. And, in fact, now their teams are terrible in their conference. It's a bad year for the MAC. Other years in the past, it's been pretty good. I don't care. Doesn't matter, never has. And the fact that nobody will play them also doesn't matter. It's been that way for years. That's why everybody knows the regular season doesn't mean diddly in most cases. And if you have a good regular season, you damn well better not lose to the 8th seed in your first tournament game. Maybe if you made it to the championship game, somebody could find some history of that would get you in. You lose to the 8th seed, you're done. I don't care if you haven't lost a regular season game in 3 years.
I think
there's no defense of the other side. Other than yours, which is it would be very entertaining for the game that you mentioned. By the way, people should know the play-in is part of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are teams making the tournament. It's not like, oh, we got this extra. So you're letting Miami of Ohio in the tournament, which they will do, by the way, because they want to be nice and look good and everybody's mad. A certain percentage at college basketball, because the players are making so much money and NIL and all this other stuff. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the premise, and everybody knows it. Miami of Ohio has no business being in the tournament.
The latest bracketology from Joe Lenardi had Wisconsin playing Miami, Ohio in the first round of the tournament in a 6-11 matchup, and I would be licking my chops as a Badger fan to get that matchup because
they beat them by 20.
I would sure hope so.
Beat them by 20.
Homer has made his position
I can't
clear.
bet, but whatever the odds, I can't bet because I'm involved. But I would advise everybody, if those two teams play, take Wisconsin, whatever, because they will give Miami credit for being way better than they are.
Jesse, I think first four Auburn versus Miami, Ohio is one of the best ideas you've had in the history of your time on this show. I love it.
The minute it happened yesterday, I was like, we got to get this. And it probably is not going to happen because Auburn didn't win yesterday, and that probably cost them getting in.
You know what the other playing game should be? Marquette against UConn. People would love to see that.
I would. One person who would.
You want to go to?
That's me.
You want to go to Dayton next week? How's the security guard?
I don't care
Dayton?
if they're playing in Alaska.
As long as you can sleep in the vestibule. All right. Homer and I stumbled onto a topic yesterday on his show that I want to get into now that we've had our Miami, Ohio debate. I am interested now in Selection Sunday to see if they make it or not and who ends up being right on this. Homer doesn't think they should be in, but you are convinced they will be in.
Right, but they're going to be in.
Yeah, they're going to get in.
Okay, we'll see.
Marquette has a better Ken Palm than Miami of Ohio. That's probably true.
Would Marquette?
The problem is the conferences. What?
Would Marquette be favored if they played Miami, Ohio tomorrow?
No, but they beat them. They might be favored by a point or something like that. It'd be pretty close. Wow. Yeah, if Miami plays, unless the odds makers see that, and I don't think they will. I think they think the public's like Miami of Ohio. Bet against them.
All right, that has been
Jason.
Our Miami of Ohio longer than a minute. So you got your discussion into that. We discussed McDonald's, New York City, Marquette basketball. We'll get to the Packers next with Steve the Homer True as our cousin sub of the day. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
As a mom, I'm glad my son plays school sports. It's where he has fun with his friends. He contributes to the team. Oh, and he stays out of trouble.
Support your school's athletic programs. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
What's new at Zimbrick Chevrolet? A lot. A free car wash with every service, plus a brand new detail facility to keep your ride looking fresh all year long. Relax with coffee and snacks while you wait, and if you can't, grab one of their numerous service loaners, take the shuttle, or even get a lift on them. Plus, Zimbrick Chevrolet has the largest new Chevrolet inventory in southern Wisconsin, and you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 3/31/2026.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
I'm Coach Greg Gard, and I've spent my career teaching young men the fundamentals of basketball: preparation, hard work, teamwork. But here's what else I've learned. Those fundamentals don't apply just to the court. They apply to life, and they apply to your finances. That's why I believe in Bank CMG. They're a community bank built on the same values, helping people prepare for the future, building wealth one smart decision at a time, and staying rooted right here in Wisconsin. Success doesn't happen by accident. It takes a game plan, it takes discipline, and it takes a partner who understands your goals. Whether you're saving for your family, buying a home, or planning for retirement, Bank CMG has your back. They're not just here to handle your money, they're here to help you grow it. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
Mark Tausch here for Pizza Hut. You know, I've loved Pizza Hut since I was a kid, and now I love making new memories enjoying it with my family today. For a limited time, Pizza Hut's Big New Yorker Pizza is just $10. An extra-large pizza with 6 huge foldable slices and bold New York-style flavor. Big size, big value, and just $10. Order right now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, feed good times. For a limited time, order a Big New Yorker Pizza for just $10. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Baseball season is heating up.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center, bye-bye baseball!
Get ready for the return of Brewers baseball on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Say don't want nothing, but you look better on me, you look better on me.
Steve the Homer True is our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. So last night, Homer, I'm talking to you, and we stumble, as we often do in our conversations, upon what I thought was a genius question that you asked me. And that is, how many special players do the Packers have on their roster? And this was predicated on your belief, and please correct me if I'm wrong when you're done thumbing through your binder. It was based on the belief that you need to have as many special people on your players on your team as possible to actually get to where you want to go, which is win a title. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a part of being fortunate, but teams that have special seem to somehow be more fortunate than others. I mean, the Packers are a pretty good example in 2010. They were close to being knocked out by, wasn't it Philly, or not even making the turn.
If Deshaun Jackson doesn't return a punt for a touchdown The Packers are already eliminated before they even play their late season, the win over the Bears, which got them in. And then as the 6th seed, they go on the run of winning at Philly, winning at Atlanta, and then winning at Chicago, and then winning the Super Bowl in Dallas over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you were, as you often do while I was talking, already starting on your list, which, of course, I found quite charming. I am curious how many people ended up being on said list.
I didn't do that intense.
Because you were half listening to me, so it was not a thorough list.
No, well, I was 80%, 90% listening to you.
Okay.
And my thought of doing it with you is that I value your thought way more than my own in terms of assessing not only the players, but kind of where they were in their career. I can't remember last week. So, the defensive part of it, I mean, it's clear that the special on the defense was more than the special now, even with Micah Parsons. But, again, I wanted you to look through it because it's special is special, and it's also how many players you have that are, slightly below that level, but still better than just good.
So what I thought we would do is get the no-brainers out of the way. And then I think that there would probably be a debate about the quarterback, whether he is good / very good or special. And I think there'd be some strong opinions from people that really
You mean
love
the current
Jordan Love.
one?
Yes, the current one, the present. Yeah. On this team, who are the no-brainers that are special players in your mind?
On this team.
On this current Green Bay Packers roster.
You would do this. Micah Parsons.
That would be one. Is there anyone else on your list?
I mean, Tucker Kraft is probably...
he's on my list.
If they won something.
Mm-hmm. He's on my list. That's two. Okay. I have... Now, I'm guessing that a year ago at this time, you would have put your guy Edgerrin Cooper on the list.
No, he would have been in that next category of, like, on the 2010, you had, who was it? Who scored the touchdown? B.J. Raji?
Yeah, B.J. Raji.
He didn't. Right. I would see that as a similar comparison. But I would not have had Cooper would have had to have done it again this year, and then now going in next season, then I would have had him at that where you.
But he did not have the impact that you saw from him in his rookie year when you repeatedly pointed out that he did not win Defensive Rookie of the Week. He won Defensive Player of the Week twice as a rookie.
Yes. And the first time that had been done in Green Bay since Clay Matthews, I was informed.
Yes, it was a big deal, and I am very curious. He is one of the players that I am most fascinated by for this season. How Jonathan Gannon deploys him, how Quay Walker's departure factors into that, what Zaire Franklin's role is, all those things. All right, so I have one more on my special list that to me is a no-brainer. Even though he, a little bit like Edgerrin Cooper, did not have as much of an impact in terms of interceptions or splash plays, and that is Xavier McKinney. So it's and I don't think either Tucker Kraft or Xavier McKinney is as special as Micah Parsons is. Like, he's the specialist of the special. But those are the three. And I want to get into the next category for you, and I want to see if there's anybody on the Carb List Talking text line 844-770-3776.
Can I interject on
770-3776 after I give the phone number? Yeah.
Okay.
Now you may.
You didn't do enough.
Because he had 8 interceptions 2 years ago and 2 interceptions this past year, whatever.
Yes. I mean, did you even know he was on the team this year?
Yeah, but I think safeties, and I subscribe to Jeff Hafley's theory, like They did not give up. They gave up some of the fewest explosives of any team in the league, and he was a big eraser for them. So, yes, I also think that teams, after you intercept 8 passes, are doing their best to avoid you. Right? So, I still think, even though he didn't have the interception numbers, I still think he qualifies as special. He would be the third person on my special list, but he still qualifies as special.
I just don't remember hearing about other players. They went way down and they just avoid you. No, if somebody's good, the job of the defensive coordinator is to make sure they can't avoid you. I'm going to put you in situations where you can make plays and be noticed. But, I mean, can you name of other safeties go like, that guy was really good? The only time I can remember that is sometimes on a cornerback. They'll say, well, they didn't do this because they don't throw near him. They throw everywhere else. And even then, the great ones still seem to do more than McKinney did.
Yeah,
Avoid him is why he did nothing. I'm not buying it.
Well, I don't know. First of all, I don't know if I would say he did nothing. But the first person that I think of is Nick Collins, who, as we talked about many times, was on a Hall of Fame trajectory, according to Mike McCarthy and others, when he suffered his neck injury in 2011. His interception numbers in 2008, I think people forget this because they went 6-10. He had 7 picks and returned. He had 3 that he returned for touchdowns. Okay? The next year he had 6 picks, no touchdowns. The year after that he only had 4 picks after he had become established as one of the best safeties in the league. So yeah, his interception numbers were basically cut in half because people stayed away from him too. Now, would you like to have seen Xavier McKinney have more splash plays? Of course. But at the same time, I do think that is a legitimate issue. He had 2 interceptions last year after having 8 the year before. That is undeniably a significant drop. Forced 1 fumble. From a pass breakup perspective, he had 10. Previous year, he had 11. So, again, I'm open to debating whether he should be a tier below, if you feel that way. 844-770-3776.
Well, no, I'll ask you this. I'll ask you real simply. Is he as good as Nick Collins was?
No.
The answer is no.
He is not as good as Nick Collins.
Okay.
No, I would agree.
All right.
Okay. But he was really special.
Nick Collins would be on the top list. Xavier McKinney is. But
sure.
we're not that far off. If
we did the 2010 team, which is how we kind of stumbled into this yesterday on your show, 2010 was the year that Aaron Rodgers truly became special, right? He was unbelievable in that playoff game in 2009 in Arizona, where they got hosed on the face mask call. I remember being on. You had who did you have? The official from Wisconsin. You had him on to discuss the penalty that wasn't called. Bill Carollo, thank you. Boy, you're really in trouble when you're asking Homer to remember things for you. I would say that...
Well, that's because I have a memory of the first time I met Bill Carollo, so I can't forget his name. Our daughters were playing a basketball game, and I didn't know who he was. You're Homer, yeah. I'm Bill Carollo. Just want to let you know, the officials cost us the game. I said... Aren't you Bill Kroll official? Yes. Well, I thought that was rather amusing. Anyway, so those are the things that I remember. But back to you.
So Rodgers became special in 2010. Charles Woodson was obviously special. You go down the list of 2010, and I think we probably get to a point where there are more special players on that team than the one that we currently are examining. We will do that.
Michael Parsons is Charles Woodson.
Yep. Clay Matthews special already in his second year that year?
Hell yes.
Nick Collins we just discussed. Greg Jennings special?
That's what I was going to defer to you on where he was that season. So that's
well, we will get into that after I
better
tell
than
you.
anything the Packers have, wouldn't you say?
I would say he was far more established, and I mean, he had some monster games in 2010, and obviously had a monster Super Bowl when Jordy Nelson wasn't yet in the category of special, but he elevated his game late in the season and played like someone who would become special, which he did. Speaking of special opportunity with Steinhafels right now with their happy-go-lucky sale. That's a play on the fact that St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. If you're feeling lucky, right now at Steinhafels, you can save 10% or more store-wide and then take an extra 7%, that's a lucky number, you know, off when you spend $799 or more. That is serious savings on the furniture you've been eyeing. For example, do you need a new couch? I don't anymore because we finally got one from Steinhafels. Maybe you're thinking about a new bedroom set. Maybe it's finally time for that dining set upgrade. Whatever's on your list, now's the time to make it happen. Plus, with 18-month financing, you can bring it home today and pay over time. So do not miss the happy-go-lucky sale only at Steinhafels. All right, 844-770-3776 is the Carb List Talk and text line. List is more. We'll talk more about special next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Brewers baseball is in the air.
Fly ball, deep left. Get going and gone.
Spring back into the baseball season on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCAA, terms and conditions apply.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best local sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
It's bracket season, and there's no better place to watch the tournament than right on the water at Christie's Landing. Join me and the guys from KBN, Kyle Brust-Nortman, on Thursday, March 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. We'll be on Upset Alert as all the drama unfolds. Grab your crew and enjoy Bud Light buckets and Neutral buckets, 5 for the price of 4 drinks, a slam dunk of a deal. Tip off the basketball tournament with KBN at Christie's Landing, Thursday, March 19th from 2 to 5 p.m.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. And from now through March 8th, our listeners get 40% off all Iron Jock t-shirts and polos with the code SPRING40. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch, and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Calls and texts have already begun. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. Who is special on this team? Now, let me help you out a little bit, because the people that I considered and stopped short of putting on that special list, Christian Watson. When he's on the field, he has shown that he's pretty special. But obviously there's been some inconsistency for his availability, but he is capable of being special. Homer's guy, Edgerrin Cooper, has shown that he can be special as well, right? We all agree on that. But he was not impactful this past season. I think 2 years ago, I'm not sure I would go so far as special even then, but I think Josh Jacobs tilted the field in the Packers' direction. As he dealt with injuries last year, he was not special. And they allowed their backup to walk, and I am very curious to see if they will regret that decision. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But let's get to your calls. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Let's start with, now, Jesse, it's Alan in Jackson. It's not country music superstar Alan Jackson?
That is correct, yes. Okay. Alan in Jackson is calling, yeah.
Alan, good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you guys?
We're great. Who's special?
Well, I'm going to start with who I think is... No. I will tell you who's special. I think I've heard you guys waffle maybe just a little bit on Tucker, because I think he's an absolute slam dunk special. And
I don't think we waffled on him at all. Hold on, just a second. I certainly didn't. Did you, Jason?
Okay.
I want to let Alan finish his thought. We were not as...
well, he's going to finish his thought, but not if he says something that I didn't say, or I don't know who he's talking about.
I know. I guess
I just shared with you my impression. My impression was that you waffled a little bit. Maybe I was incorrect, but I'll tell you that...
now I feel you're correct. This is the great line. It's how you feel. I can't argue with how you feel, so you're right.
Behavior indicative of a waffler.
He's... Fine, it's whatever, but I want to make it clear. There's no waffle at ever. He qualifies as great.
We were not as we were not as definitive as we were with Micah Parsons. Alan, the floor is yours again.
Yeah, and so just to follow that thought that the most undervalued position on the field, I think, is tight end, and I think to help out the O-line situation in the future, a little bit of a distraction, but. They need to be recruiting more tight ends to help that O-line. That's what I'd be looking for. But to who's not special, I think that Jordan Love is commanding a special compensation package. But my background, by the way, is analytics, and I sat down 2 seasons ago when he was in a slump and went through 3 games and looked at every one of his passes and how inaccurate he was. And and then I used Gemini AI to analyze my findings, and what Gemini AI came up with was that he suffers from something similar to what Favre used to do. He would, as I understand, throw up before games, and it took him a while to get dialed in. I think the magic of Jordan Love is to get him dialed in, because AI described it as pocket panic. He's supposed to be cool as a cucumber, but underneath there, he's got the equivalent of the yips when you stand over a putt on a golf green.
Mm-hmm.
And it's proven by, if you go back in 2 years ago, and he does this occasionally, where he misses a receiver, and if you watch the film and go slow-mo, you can literally calculate how many feet he is off by. And then you compare that to, say, Rodgers, when you watch him practice and hit those nets. He's, is he the most accurate passer? I'm not sure, but he's one of the top. And it's way different. And I think that's the difference between him being, say, I'm going to say a B. I'll give him a grade letter B. But he's commanding way too much money for being that inaccurate, in my estimation.
Whew. All right. There's a lot, Alan, to unpack there. I'm intrigued, especially based on your analytics background. I struggle with the evaluation, Homer, of Jordan Love, because there are, as Tausch will point out, a lot of really strong... If you're negative, if you're even remotely negative about him, which I don't think I would qualify in that department, I was certainly skeptical of him after watching him in training camp in 2020 and 2021. But I don't think there's any, Alan just gave him a B. I don't know enough about the what Gemini is using for its assessment. I also don't know. I don't think I've ever heard any stories about Jordan Love puking before games. I don't know if I knew that was true about Favre either. I remember very vividly Mike Holmgren saying, "Hey, no rocket balls today,
I don't think
please."
it is. Favre didn't. It has no history of throwing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But look, I am not putting him in the special category yet. I think he's good. I think Jordan Love is good. So I don't know where that puts me in terms of the analytics, or if that puts me in a different place than most Packers fans. But I am very curious to see what when he is a fully formed NFL starting quarterback, what he is. And he's going into his fourth year as the starter. So I don't know, how long do you give him before you say he is who he is?
2 more years.
That sounded arbitrary. How did you settle upon that?
Because I'm exactly where you are. I think certain things, but he needs to elevate a little bit, or because I don't think he's special yet, but he lives right across the border from the neighborhood. Like, it's very easy to believe that he's going to be special. He has done some things that are special. So if someone says he's special, I might slightly disagree, but
not vehemently.
He's good. Yes. No, he is easily good enough for you to win a Super Bowl with him at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would agree with that.
The defense and the rest of the team has to be significantly better.
All right. We will continue
can he carry the team? No, not yet. Not yet if you have to have him do it every game. Sorry.
So he's somewhere above, because you and I actually yesterday were also talking about Sam Darnold, who he had to play one great game, and he did, to beat the Rams, right?
Yes.
He wasn't special in the Super Bowl. They didn't win the Super Bowl because of him. And I think there's a difference between winning with a quarterback and winning because of a quarterback. And I think you make a very good point there. We'll get further into that after I tell you about Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. You don't need to hop on a plane. which Paul and the girls did, or board a cruise ship, which I don't see myself ever doing, to feel like you've escaped. Your next getaway is waiting right in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay. The biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee. Nearly 500 beautifully designed, spacious rooms and luxury suites. Perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big. And you're just steps away from everything happening inside. And if you're hungry, you've got options, and a lot of them. Premium steaks at Dream Dance Steakhouse. Pizza, burritos, and quick bites at the Marketplace. Rock and Brews for a high-energy vibe. The Canal Street Cafe. Ruyi Asian Kitchen. Cream City Coffee Company. Food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, birthday, or anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, and a full night out all in one place at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More Wilde and Tausch with Homer as our cousin sub of the day. Straight ahead, stick around.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Friday, ESPN's Brian Windhorst breaks down the NBA stretch run. The actor John C. McGinley joins us in studio, plus what's more likely. That's Friday's Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
Mark Tauscher here, and it's another Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. Well, I'm down in Chicago for the conference tournament, and I hope I get to see a bunch of our fans here throughout the weekend. But if you're not joining me in Chicago this weekend, then maybe you're at home getting started on a big paint project. Well, if that's the case, I recommend you do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Hallman Lindsay to get the job done right. To get connected with the perfect pro painter for what your project calls for, just stop into any Madison area Hallman Lindsay location and ask. The team at Hallman Lindsay will help find the best pro for the job. From 70-degree sunny spring days to freezing rain and snow, Hallman Lindsay is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round, or all week long, as we've experienced this week. That's what makes it Wisconsin's best paint. Hallman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at hallmanlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday, coming up to close out today's show, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. The Badgers survive in their first matchup of the Big Ten tournament, staving off the Washington Huskies 85-82. Wisconsin led by as many as 18 in the second half, but a furious rally forced the Badgers to make a defensive stand in the final seconds. Blackwell had 34 and Boyd had 23 in the Badgers' win. The real UW will square off with Illinois in the quarterfinals today at 1:30 on the Big Ten Network.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2032 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2032. Visit PellaWI.com.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Talk Badger sports year-round with the Jump Around podcast.
We are thrilled to be joined by one of our favorite players for the Wisconsin Badgers, Nick Boyd.
Tune in for the Top Badgers conversations every week, featuring special guests with Wisconsin players, coaches, and more.
It would mean everything, and that's the reason I came, to be on the highest level, biggest stage, and just show the world who Nick Boyd is.
The Jump Around, brought to you by Steinhoffels, streaming live every Thursday on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Wisconsin, let's keep this simple. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, thanks for hanging in there. If you believe a beer tastes even better after shoveling the driveway, mowing the lawn, or putting in an honest day's work, well, you're our kind of people. Wisconsin, it's finally here. Yuengling, oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations, and now officially in Wisconsin. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Molly Brown here for Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home to the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle? Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned Kia, you can browse their extensive inventory and find this month's specials at metrokiaofmadison.com. That's metrokiaofmadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership on the east side of Madison today.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Eight 447703776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. I know that I've struck a chord and hit a good topic when I hear from Wisconsin State Journal columnist emeritus Tom Oates in the private talk and text line.
Is he hot on Miami, Ohio also?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Oatesy about that. I know he's got his own little podcast that he does, or was doing at least. I haven't tuned in lately.
Isn't that the one? Does he do another one without Mike Lucas?
Yeah, they should get you on there, too. They could reunite the old Sidelines crew. And the average age would be... Are you the youngest one of that group?
I'm 71. I don't know.
I think
they're in the same neighborhood, I think.
Yeah, I think they're all in the same.
Could be.
His point is that Jordan Love is Dak Prescott. And is that good enough to win a Super Bowl? Do you agree with that premise? I think that's actually a really interesting way to look at it.
I love it. I like that. I love that premise. And again, the problem with Dallas, I'd have to go back and look at the defense was pretty good. They were fifth for a couple of years. And I don't know do you feel like Dak Prescott needed to be better? Their problem is their owners. But I don't.
Crazy,
he may have put a team good enough together. No, it's the saddest story in the history of the NFL. A guy who won 3 titles and then just doesn't care about winning. Wants to be rich, I guess, because he turned greatness into...
And wants to be talked about.
Really, they haven't made, and I said 40, I was wrong, 30 years, haven't even made an NFC championship game.
That's correct.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. It's a long time.
I would love Oatsy because... in 23 and 22, when they were fifth defensively and Prescott, I'd be curious as to what he would say. How did they fall short, or why did they fall short? Because those numbers are pretty good, but that's a great comparison. Prescott may also be good, but not good enough.
Let's get one more call in before the top of the hour, and then we'll get more calls during the 10 o'clock hour. Let's talk to Patrick in Monona first. Patrick, good morning. How are you today?
Good, and you?
Good. Thanks for holding on. What do you got for us?
A couple things. First, are we really comparing Jordan Love in his first year starting to Aaron Rodgers throwing into a net?
I don't think so.
That's what the caller.
I didn't.
Previous caller.
Allen and Jackson did that.
Yeah.
I must not have heard that. I must have.
But he threw in a lot of other things too. To be fair, come on.
Yeah. In any event, what I was calling to talk about was Goody and maybe being a little bit a victim of his own success. I mean, you don't turn over a roster and deal with the cap hit that he did in 1 year and then usually make the playoffs that year. I think he was planning on Jordan's first year starting, going 5-12, and then the next year being what it was, and then this year, or this last year, looking more like, what it was, which was a very successful team on the brink, and then unfortunately injuries derailed that. I think that the reason that Goody has made the decisions he did in terms of not having any 30-year-olds on the roster was because it wasn't time to have 30-year-olds on the roster. There was no reason to invest in a team that was a little too far away, and he just would not break with the process. He trusts his process because previous to Jordan, he had plenty of 30-year-old plus on the team. I think it was just this team isn't there yet, and he was not going to be fooled or deterred by one flash in the pan, which was, the second half of Jordan's first year starting, to move up the timeline on when he was going to invest in winning now.
So I would push back on one thing you said there, Patrick. I firmly believe that he firmly believes in 30 being the line of demarcation, if he won't say that. Like he said at the scouting combine that players' window of when they are the healthiest and their best is 26 to 29. Like he said those ages. I would argue that the reason why he was open to having so many more 30-year-olds on his team in his first portion of his general managership, if that's a word, was because he had Aaron Rodgers. And when you have Aaron Rodgers, you're a Super Bowl contender every year. I think you make a great point about 2023. And, they got to where they did in the playoffs earlier than he expected. I think he would have loved for them to be in the division round in 2024, right? The fact of the matter is they've been the number 7 seed each of the 3 years that Jordan's been the starting quarterback. That is certainly better than not making the playoffs at all. But I am curious as to if it's deeper for him on this 30-year-old guy concept than simply just, now we're ready to win. Because I personally think with the amount of cap space they're going to have next year, I think there's part of him that's saying, all right, we've got a shot this year, but our best shot is 2027 when he's going to be able to augment the roster even further. He's going to have a bunch of draft picks from the comp picks. Because if you think you're as close as you're saying this year, Patrick, then how do you let the number of guys out the door that they've let out the door? That would be my pushback for you. How do you respond to that?
I think that's actually pretty easy. He isn't interested in giving people market rate contracts that aren't or near. He's not willing to overpay for people.
Yeah, they got to be special. You're right. Mm-hmm.
And when these players got to free agency, it was going to take overpays to keep them. The best example of that is Quay Walker.
It's Quay.
Right?
Yep.
No one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a lot of people say, wow, that Quay contract, man, the Raiders were really smart for signing him for that number. And that's true of all of these guys, right?
Yep.
Where
they could do it if they weren't paying the quarterback so much.
Well, yeah, but even still, why do we want to bring back Romeo Doubs on an $18 million contract?
Yeah.
Why do we
You don't.
They're just not worth it. And if they had really saw 1 year before, we need these guys for our big push, they would have done it a year ago. But what happens in free agency for the Packers just doesn't matter. Sean Ryan is a huge exception to that rule, and that's because, when this is a completely different topic, they self-scouted the offensive line into oblivion, and that is the biggest criticism I have of Goose.
Yeah, you're right about that, too. Great call, Patrick. We appreciate it. Yeah, I agree with most of what he said. I will say I am very curious to see how the season plays out, because it does feel like for a team that has some special players and that was in position for a special season until everything happened in Denver, it does feel like there's a little bit of crossing your fingers and hoping for this season that if you stay healthy, you've got enough good players to get to where you want to go, maybe. But I don't think there was anybody on the free agent market that I would say, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't go after this guy or that guy. I don't see that either. I would have been interested in what might have happened had they signed Reek Woolen to the same 1-year deal that Philadelphia did, so they could have upgraded their corner spot that way. But that would be the only, and that's a reach. I don't feel like they missed out hugely on him. We'll get further into this. Plus, Jesse put a poll in the field, and I want to get to that as well as we roll on as the 10 o'clock hour. Yeah.
Oh, are you asking me?
What's the poll?
What's the poll?
Yeah, because during the break, I want to think about it.
Oh,
that's a tease?
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay. That's the tease. Okay, got it.
Yeah, huh?
No.
Don't you tease
Jason's
things?
show. Sorry to interrupt.
You
Mike.
usually
Never
you're-
like that. I've fought tease for years. If it's a great topic, why would I make people wait? Because if it's a good topic, they will think about it during the break.
I've tried
If it's
that
not good
technique.
enough to present. All right.
I've tried
No
that.
one else agrees with me.
Sometimes
So, I mean,
Tausch jumps
clearly
the
I'm
gun.
wrong, but I don't care.
Tausch has been known to jump the gun and answer the question when Jason poses the question as the
I am
tease.
scarred by that experience.
And I think
yes.
that's
Okay,
got something
that's
to do
fine.
with it. Yeah.
If somebody gives me a regular tease, I will turn the station because I don't want to
Interesting.
wait.
You are not the most
Like when you
patient
have
person I
breaking news and it's big breaking news, you don't wait till after the break. Give it to me now.
God, you are one of one.
Sorry.
I am so lucky to know you.
I've always when they have like
Didn't have to add that second part
on
It
the
really
news
isn't
when they tease a
necessary.
story come out like something in your kitchen could be killing you. Find out tonight at 10. Like, well, tell me now.
Yes. How about this? Here's the Homer one. Your refrigerator is killing you. The specifics next. Who wouldn't want it that way as a person watching the show? If it ain't big enough to sell that way, you're teasing average to garbage and trying to convince me it's important.
I'm definitely not teasing that when it comes to Gruber offices. One call, that's all. They're not average. They are the best in the business if you've been injured by someone in an accident. And look, hopefully you never do get injured. Hopefully you never have to make that call. But if you do, know the number. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber offices, one call. That's all. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch with Homer as our cousin sub starts in 2 minutes. And that's no tease. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. And from now through March 8th, our listeners get 40% off all Iron Jock t-shirts and polos with the code SPRING40. Iron Jock helps you look good, smell good, and keep showing up. Shop now at ironjock.com.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Wisconsin Badgers on to the Big Ten tournament quarterfinal round this afternoon. The 5-seed Wisconsin takes on 4-seed Illinois. Approximate tip time 1:30 this afternoon in Chicago. Watch it on the Big Ten Network. The Badgers are listed as 8.5-point underdogs despite their win yesterday over Washington in the third round of the Big Ten tournament, led by John Blackwell, a career-best 34 points as a double-double to lead Wisconsin. Wisconsin and Illinois, 1:30 this afternoon. You can also have a second screen experience while you watch the game on the Big Ten Network. Watch along with our ESPN Madison team on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. We'll be hanging out in the studio, watching the game and sharing our reactions in real time with you. Check it out on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. NBA, the Bucks fall last night 112 to 105 to Miami Heat. Bucks back in action tomorrow afternoon, taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Tip time at 2 o'clock.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, with Homer in as our cousin sub of the day, begins now. Before we get to paying off the poll tease, breaking news from the Packers. The team announces they signed Sky Moore. What was that, like 5 days ago? Feels like a long time ago, but it
Why
is
so
now
bitter?
official. What?
Why so bitter?
I'm not bitter.
I mean, that was like
hold
Monday's news, and here it is.
Was
Friday.
that bitter or not?
It was a little bitter, yeah. I think he has a right to be bitter. There's like justified bitter, and then there's just salty
I
bitter.
didn't say he didn't have a right. I just said he was bitter.
I'm demonstratively more bitter about the fact that we have not talked to Jonathan Gannon yet. But that's
yes. I'm more bitter than you are. It's crap. I'd use a bigger word, but you have to put it out. I don't understand it. What
I
is
don't
the
either.
point?
But I don't want to keep anyone waiting any longer for this poll question that was teased so expertly.
But back to what you're saying. You know who I hold responsible for that? The club president. And I won't use my next line because
Who should be John Schneider.
I've avoided using his name.
He's obsessed.
I don't know. I'm working on that.
Have you ever
So
gone?
I didn't bring that up.
Now we're just going to wait. Have you ever gone this long without talking to a new assistant coach hired by the Green Bay Packers as a coordinator?
I'll defer to Jason on that.
I don't think so. I don't want people to think this is. I hate it when sports writers bellyache when they complain about travel or free press box food.
That's
or
not
access.
what this is.
But this is
not the
This
same.
is important for the fans, and I do take that responsibility seriously. All right, Jesse, tell
And
us
check
about
other teams. Somebody do the research on find other teams. If there's any team in the history of the NFL that has waited this long on a regular basis, I think they're doing what no other team does or has ever done.
Jesse, tell us your poll question.
All right, so Kyler Murray is now a member of the Minnesota Vikings. It became official yesterday. After much speculation, it did become official. He is signed, and he is expected to be in prime contention with J.J. McCarthy and likely will win the starting quarterback job for the Vikings in 2026. That prompted this poll question, which has gained some interest on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed this morning. Where do you believe the Packers now rank among head coach quarterback combos in the NFC North? So, of course, your four combos, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams with the Bears, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff with the Lions, Matt Lafleur and Jordan Love with the Packers, Kevin O'Connell and Kyler Murray with the Minnesota Vikings. And then your four poll options are first, second, third, or fourth.
Number one. But it's never been closer. The gap between 1 and 4 is closer than it has ever been in the division.
This is why he's the GOAT. That's a perfect answer. Like, it's perfect. You're right.
Yes.
Because look, I did. This was not a poll question. This was just an opinion that I shared yesterday. Bears fans are a salty bunch. I would just like to state that for the record. Adam Schefter put this out yesterday. We'll get back to the poll question in a second. The NFC North now has 3 number 1 overall pick quarterbacks: Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, and Jared Goff. And I just said, because I thought it felt like a really good debate topic, and there is a valid argument to be made that the one who wasn't the number 1 overall pick is the best of the bunch. Because of those 4 today, I would argue that Jordan Love is the best of the 4. I think he's better than Jared Goff. I think he's better than Caleb Williams. And I think what we've seen from Kyler Murray before he went to Minnesota, he's better than Kyler Murray. Do I think that I will be saying the same thing at the end of this season? I may not be. But I think right now, Caleb Williams, big playoff win. Still really inaccurate. To going back to what Alan Jackson said earlier in the show, inaccuracy. Jordan Love isn't the only one who has bouts of inaccuracy. Jared Goff, really good as long as he's playing in rhythm. But you get him off the spot and you frazzle him, it can be pretty ugly, as we've seen from him. And then Kyler Murray, maybe it's just the institutional failures of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm curious to see what he does with Kevin O'Connell. I really am. And with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, I'm very curious to see what he does. But right now, I think you can make a pretty convincing argument that Jordan's the best of the four. No one has convinced me otherwise in the 50-plus responses I've gotten to that. Jesse, when you add in the quarterback part of the equation, I think Ben Johnson has already elevated Caleb Williams, and to Homer's point, if you thought that there was a gap between the Packers and the Bears and their quarterback head coach combo and the Bears head coach quarterback combo, that has shrunk considerably. And they could get surpassed this season. I don't know if they will, but they could. The question I have, Homer, is how am I supposed to look at Dan Campbell when we ask this question? He's biting kneecaps. He took over the play calling. It was like better, and then it wasn't, and then it was better, and then it wasn't after he took the job away from his replacement for Ben Johnson. That's the one part of these 8 names that are in Jesse's poll that I don't know exactly how I should view, how he should influence how I vote.
I got him 4th, that combo.
Ooh.
Because of the offensive coordinator issue.
And because you like Kevin O'Connell a lot.
More. I mean, again, any quarterback and team could beat another quarterback and team in the division without it being a surprise. So it's game to game. And when you say who's better, I don't know that I can say that the combination of Lafleur and Love are going to have the best season in 2026. Any of the 4 could. But I'd still have them at number 1.
Jesse, when you put this poll together, what were you thinking?
I actually thought Jordan Love and Matt Lafleur would come in at number 2. I am surprised at the returns in the poll that it is so heavily in favor of Jordan Love and Matt Lafleur being ranked number 1. And I don't think it's because of Jordan Love. I think it's because of all the criticism we've heard of Matt Lafleur stemming back to near the end of last season. I thought for sure Packers fans would look at it and say, well, Dan Campbell's the guy we kind of would rather have that style of guy. Yeah, we want that. Or Kevin O'Connell is, when his quarterbacks have been healthy, has taken it to the Packers pretty good the last couple of years. I don't think anyone likes Ben Johnson around here, so I didn't think that would get a lot of votes. But I am surprised that, what was it at, 58% here as of last check? 58% of the poll returns have Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur ranked number 1 in quarterback head coach combos in the NFC North.
So break this down for me, Jesse, since I love the way you phrased this question, okay? Them being 58% the number 1 tandem, how much of that do you think is LaFleur and how much of that do you think is Love? The reason I ask this is because, to your point, I just think the people that hate or dislike Matt LaFleur were much, much, much louder, but I don't think they're as plentiful. You know what I mean? I think they were so loud that we thought there were more of them. Remember we did that poll? Bill Huber did a poll that got 17,000 votes before LaFleur got retained. And it was 70-some% that wanted LaFleur back. And it was only 30-some% that they didn't. It felt a lot more, and I think it was just because they were loud. So do you think that your information, your polling thus far, is based more on LaFleur or more on Love that they're the number 1 tandem?
I think it's based more on Love, but I do think separation from the end of the season helps provide a little clarity for fans voting in this. I think if we asked this, the day after the Packers lost to the Bears in the playoffs, think it'd be hard pressed to see the Packers above 3rd on the list. But I think as time goes on and we can look further back at the end of last season and put it in more perspective, people realize Matt LaFleur is a pretty good head football coach of the Green Bay Packers, and they win a lot of games with him there. So I think that's what's happening more than anything.
I also think that people would begrudgingly admit that Ben Johnson has really been a game changer for the Bears, but they don't want to vote for him because they hate him. I think that's also part of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's a lot. The shirt thing and the F the Packers thing. Like, I wonder how, maybe we can ask this as well, but I wonder how Packers fans view him. Like, do they have a begrudging respect for him? Like, do they think he's a jerk, but he's pretty good at what he does? We'll get this.
He's a lot. I like that. I'm going to use it.
It's probably been said about you once or twice as well, I'm guessing, over the years. Probably by Nancy.
Homer, weren't you down on Laflur at the end of the year on Green Bay game night with Homer or with Tausch and everybody when you guys were taking like
there were certain situations which I said were pathetic. But
that sounds like you're down
I
on him,
suggested, and I stand by it. No, not so, because before the Bears game, I said I would sign him to an extension of 1 year before the game. Everybody needs to know this game does not determine his future. And so
that's not a bad
I was
point.
not down on him in terms of want to make a change. If that wouldn't have been done, I wanted to just let him play out the final year of his contract so I could say, come on, big boy, let's see what you can do with the pressure on. And yes, if you have a great year, I understand you could leave Green Bay and go somewhere else. I want to see what you do with everything on the line. But they didn't do that either. So, was that being against him?
No, I don't think so. But there were people that were obviously very vehemently against him and are disappointed that he's back. This is really interesting. I want to get further into this. I do want to share. We've got some. I know people have really enjoyed the incredible work I have done on this Thanalysis live read, where I am so passionate about imitating Ric Flair, because I know that's really driven a lot of sales, but they took out the whole spiel that I was doing. It absolutely should. Not my execution, though, because I limousine riding, jet plane flying. Yeah, that's not my game. But let me tell you this. Milwaukee, be there for the night. Woo! That has everyone talking.
That's all you got to do.
Thanalysis Live is back on March 27th at the Riverside Theater. It's loud and completely unpredictable, and there's no telling who will come on stage. Thanasis always brings out the stars. Stephen A. Smith showed up once. Bobby
Can
Portis.
I interject a second here?
You can always interject.
I don't want Ric Flair to be mad. He don't need anybody else. He doesn't need, hey, we got extra special people. Whoever you got, even the President of the United States, if he was coming, he ain't bigger than, Ric Flair. Keep that in mind. Ric Flair never has, never will need an additional guest that might be coming, though that would be okay. I'm done.
Okay. Woo! The Nature Boy Ric Flair is headlining with Thanasis, but if history tells us anything, he won't be alone. More surprise guests, more big names, more moments that lead you to say, well, you just had to be there. Get your tickets now at taliveshow.com. That is taliveshow.com. Thanalysis Live, March 27th at the Riverside Theater. Doors at 6, show at 7. Milwaukee legends, nationwide stars. You never know who else is going to walk on to the Thanalysis Live stage. Be there. taliveshow.com for tickets. Woo! More Wilde and Tausch with Homer. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
My fiancé wanted to incorporate me in the process of picking out my engagement ring. And we went to Chalmers, and that was the first place that we went to look for rings.
The staff educated us right away, and we felt very comfortable, and I learned a lot about diamonds.
Chalmers did a great job explaining the process to us, the type of grade of the diamond.
Oh, just from the second you walk in, I mean, there's somebody who's taking you over, showing you exactly what you want in your price range.
I think that my ring is the most beautiful ring I've ever seen, thanks to Chalmers Jewelers.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best local sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Get your team together. Softball is back for 2026. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Adult Summer Softball Leagues is now open. Men's, women's, and all gender slow pitch and women's fast pitch leagues are forming now for the summer season. MSCR Softball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Spend your summer evenings with us on the Ball Diamond. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Wouldn't you love to roll out with a brand new ride this year? Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison could make that happen this March in our Let's Roll promotion. Be here on Friday, March 27th when one grand prize winner will receive a $50,000 vehicle certificate toward a new car or truck. We hit the gas starting at 7 p.m. when 24 other winners will each roll the dice for a cash prize between $500 and $5,000. Keep the good times rolling at
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I'm talking with Lil Wayne, 5-time Grammy Award winner. Is it actually hard to remember all of your own lyrics?
It used to be, but I had to go on stage one day for Drake. I noticed that he had these little televisions. I thought it was just like a stage prop, but then I noticed it was like prompters with his lyrics, and I was like, you could do that?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Listen up, Wisconsin. The next evolution of social and sports entertainment is here. PinSeekers is now Pin Social. Fresh facility upgrades with new games and social areas. Same great food and membership deals. Come play, compete, and connect at the new Pin Social. Now open in DeForest.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
We're on the Badgers.
All of the great moments, beating Illinois, beating Michigan State.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It doesn't mean anything at all if they don't get to a second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
Continuing with Steve the Homer True as our cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Jesse's poll question is in the field. Again, it is this. Where do you believe the Packers now rank among head coach quarterback combos in the NFC North? Chicago, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Detroit, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Green Bay, Matt Lafleur and Jordan Love. Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell and Kyler Murray. As of now, as we approach 500 votes, 60% have the Packers first. I'm sure that would change if Waddle and Sylvie got their hands on this poll and retweeted it, because then we would see the Bears go through the roof, right? 23% say second, 11% they say third, and fourth gets 6%. That's just people that don't like Matt Lafleur, right? Or Bears fans. Fourth. They may not be first, but they're not fourth. Homer, I'm curious, when you saw the news of Kyler Murray, because there was a small part of me that was holding out some hope that maybe the Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota story would end up happening, and that would be fun to cover for a couple of games next season. What do you make of them getting Kyler Murray?
Made the division even tougher. That's simple. Everything's important only as it relates to the Green Bay Packers, and it just got a little tougher. How much tougher, we don't know, but tougher without a doubt.
Tougher because Kyler Murray is good, or tougher because you think Kevin O'Connell can unlock what he is capable of compared to what he did in Arizona?
Both, and because
or tougher because J.J. McCarthy stinks?
All of it. All of it. The other things will determine how much a difference it makes. But they're better. We're just going to find out how much better.
The J.J. McCarthy piece, I am fascinated by that. Obviously Kevin Seifert and Matthew Collar and Judd Zolgad are all good buddies of mine. And this move and Kyler Murray only signing a one-year deal leaves open the possibility that maybe J.J. McCarthy is still their quarterback of the future. I just don't see it. I didn't, like, you would have liked to have seen some moments where and there was one or two, I suppose, but man, he just does not look like a very good player. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my evaluation is off. I'm certainly open to being wrong on that, but talk about not being special. I don't have any evidence that he is capable of being special. But again, he played.
He had one special drive for Michigan late in the game, brought him a national championship. Most of the year he handed the ball off, but in that drive, you got one.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons why I was surprised he was the 10th overall pick. Steve-O in SoCal. Yes, I wish Steve-O in SoCal was... I wish he was a little more open about his opinions. Like, I feel like he really holds back.
Steve-O.
For example, with this text. Lafleur and Love have not accomplished squats! Not even a division title. I would rate the combination of Matty L. and J. Love tied for third in the North.
Oh, snap.
Tied for third, which is tied for last then, because there'd be two people in third and nobody in fourth. Look, I think the call from Alan Jackson earlier about how in 2023 they weren't expecting to be a playoff team is very fair. And so that was a great accomplishment. That's another aspect, Homer, of perception versus reality. The offseason after that 2023 season, all we talked about was, oh my God, what a remarkable second half. They win a playoff game. They got the 49ers on the ropes. There could not have been more excitement and confidence and optimism about the Green Bay Packers than there was that offseason. Then they go 11-6, don't beat anybody of any renown, lose in pretty ugly fashion in Philly, where they turn the ball over 4 times. And now this offseason, it's been largely more of the same. I understand Steve-O's frustration. Do you feel that frustration when you do Green Bay game night, or when you have people call into the Homer Hour?
Yeah, but there's some support because they're not bad. The frustration is this. It's very simple. Win the damn division. You haven't won the division in 4 years. I don't really want discussion of anything else until that gets solved. And yes, in 2010, everything fell straight, but they had a much better defense. But, okay, the first 3 years, they won the division, and they were very close. Since then, ain't winning the division, and the division maybe's gotten tougher, but it's that simple. We'll be in the same spot every year until they win the damn division. Because what does that do for you in the playoffs?
Yeah, I winning the division.
Disagree?
No, I don't disagree. And this is also what Tausch has been talking about for weeks. Is that everything changes when you can win the division. You play a home game. You got a chance at the number 1 seed. Right. He talked ad nauseum about what it meant for Seattle. That's why he's so obsessed
with the special teams.
Right. Well, he
thinks that's necessary.
He is undeniably obsessed with that. All right, let's get to more of your texts and check in on the poll question and move forward with this discussion after I tell you about Associated Bank. Best customer service in the industry. I've told you that forever, and you know how much I love the line. It's not branches that make a bank local, it's roots, and Associated Bank's roots are deep in Wisconsin. They were there when the Packers began, right here in Green Bay, back over 100 years ago. Go to AssociatedBank.com, find out all about their early pay, about their credit monitoring, about their fraud protection, about Packers checking, about Brewers checking, about Badgers checking. All of those and more can be found at AssociatedBank.com. Make the switch today. More with Homer next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
What's up, everybody? March 27th, go get your tickets. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be me, Finance After the Kumpo, my co-host, Tony C, and Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair. It's going to be nice. It's going to be dope. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be an experience, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's basically a party/podcast.
Yeah, we're throwing a party at the Riverside, March 27th, TALiveshow.com. Who's the guest again? Can I get a woo? Woo! With Ric Flair. Can't wait.
See you guys.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
This is Coach Greg Gard. I've lived my whole life in Wisconsin, and I know what people here value: hard work, honesty, and looking out for one another. That's exactly how Bank CMG approaches banking. They combine hometown values with modern tools to help people make confident financial decisions. When you want a bank that understands where you're coming from, Bank CMG makes sense. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life.
Hey, this is Gene Cho, Bucky from 03 to 05. Most memorable moment? Definitely getting arrested at a football game for crowd surfing as Bucky. Oof, maybe not the best shining moment for Bucky.
Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
We're on the Badgers.
All of the great moments, beating Illinois, beating Michigan State.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It doesn't mean anything at all if they don't get to a second weekend of the NCAA tournament.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
One of my favorite royalty-free songs, the Boston Knockoff. Big fan of that one. Homer, I got a tweet here from the King of Naps, which is, I don't know if that's an official title for this person. Do you nap? You always say that when you get to a certain age, you can fall asleep anywhere, right? And you have to pee all the time. Or
Correct.
Something.
Yes.
Well, the King
you
of
never
Naps,
know when you're going to pee.
Yes. Do you have to go now? Do you need a potty break?
I don't. Appreciate you asking.
Okay, just thought I'd check.
Uncomfortable. Weirdo.
So our poll question, and I'm intrigued by this response because I don't think this person is a Bears fan. He follows all the Packers folks and listens to our show. I gave my number one vote in the poll to Ben and Caleb. I think Ben puts Caleb in the position to succeed, whereas Matt is too scared to do the same with Jordan. If there is a pushback on Matt Lafleur that I see more than any other, is that despite the drop that Jesse likes to play of scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money.
I get the feeling that a lot of Packers fans think he coaches scared. Do you agree with that premise, and do you agree with the King of Naps take there?
Well, first, I want to deal with the scared money. It's the stupidest thing anybody's ever said. Because if you did a history of the people who became incredibly successful, many did it on their last amount. The amount of incredibly successful situations based on scared money is so large, and that's why they make the stories out about it.
Scared money don't make money.
Whatever my opinion is after that, it's just so wrong. You know what that tells me? That person's never made money. Or it's become really easy. Most money is made from scared money because that means you were poor. Ask Lee Trevino about how much money was made from scared money.
Scared money don't make money.
It's the money you remember the most.
Thank you for sharing. Now, if you could share your thoughts on whether Matt LaFleur coach is scared.
Is that LaFleur who said that?
That is Matt LaFleur.
Somebody, you ask him the next time. Homer says that's the stupidest thing you've ever said. That's probably not the way to do it.
He won't.
Coach, can you explain that? Just what you said. Explain it. That's all. That's to be fair. All right, back to the question.
I don't know when the next time is I'll talk to Matt LaFleur, but I'll try and
after Jonathan Gannon, I'm sure.
So do you think Matt LaFleur coaches scared?
Have they announced LaFleur as the head coach of the Packers yet?
They did announce the extension.
You should put that on Twitter.
They
should put that on Twitter. I know they haven't gone the defense. No, I meant his original. Go back to say
Nice.
Have they ever had him actually announced as the coach?
Still waiting for the Charles Woodson
Nice.
signing press release, yes.
There we go. Now we're cooking. Yeah, now we got him going. Make us your top 5 of things that were announced so late that you could never forget it. All right, defensive coordinator now, Charles Woodson. You got 3 others?
They never announced the last round of extensions that they gave out to Goody and Lafleur. They never really announced
it. Yes. Oh, we still don't know how many years it is, or do they never announce that?
They never announced that.
That's the one that really irritates
We do not know how many years Matt
They may
LaFleur's
not
under
announce it,
contract
but
for.
people know it, though. Somehow, I mean, I would defer to you, Jason. Generally, even though they not announce it, you, the people that are the best at this, you kind of find out, right?
I have not found out. I think we're all presuming.
Not in this case, but I'm saying in the past.
Case. Generally, in the past,
but in the past.
Yep.
Yes, that's my point. All right. Okay.
So does Matt LaFleur coach scared?
No. He coaches smart. He thinks what he does is the smart way to do things, and you win by being smart.
I agree.
Smarter.
But I also would say that the perception, again, maybe it's just the louder folks like they were with not wanting him to be the coach anymore. But I do think if I had to pinpoint the thing that I hear most frequently about to criticize Matt LaFleur, it is that he coaches scared. That is how people view him. At least his critics view him. All right, I want to circle back to the special thing at the top of the 11 o'clock hour because we've gotten some responses on that. Who are the players that are special on this team? And I want to compare them to 2010. But before that, we're going to play trivia. And Jesse, this was such a good idea that you're doing it again, aren't you?
Round 2, who he play for? Inspired by Inside the NBA with Charles Barkley. Free agent frenzy in the NFL. Who he play for? Today's trivia category.
And the caller you would like is?
13, Friday the 13th.
Caller 13 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 13 will play trivia, and we will do it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Keep it right here after Wilde and Tausch, and join us for the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hi, it's Eric with Canopy Wealth Management. Taxes are intricate, and even smart savers can unknowingly work against themselves without a clear tax strategy. At Canopy, we help you assess your options and you make more intentional decisions with your money. Small adjustments today can lead to meaningful differences in your long-term financial future. At Canopy Wealth Management, care, confidence, clarity is not just a tagline, it's our promise. Get started today at canopy-wealth.com.
Paid for by Canopy Wealth Management. Canopy Wealth Management is registered as an investment advisor with the SEC.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Upgrade your sleep game during Steinhoffels Mattress Madness. Get top brands, unbeatable prices, free delivery, and a 120-night sleep guarantee. Only at Steinhoffels.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. The Badgers survive in their first matchup of the Big Ten tournament, staving off the Washington Huskies 85-82. Wisconsin led by as many as 18 in the second half, but a furious rally forced the Badgers to make a defensive stand in the final seconds. The real UW will square off with Illinois in the quarterfinals today at 1:30 on the Big Ten Network.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2032 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2032. Visit PellaWI.com.
As a mom, I'm glad my son plays school sports. It's where he has fun with his friends. He contributes to the team. Oh, and he stays out of trouble.
Support your school's athletic programs. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. Get 0% APR for 24 to 60 months on new 2025 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter cargo and crew vans. This also includes the courtesy vehicle fleet, where Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans have over 12 currently that qualify. Excludes e-Sprinter, Sprinter 30th Edition cargo. Monthly payments for 24 months equals $41.66 per $1,000 borrowed. Monthly payments for 60 months equals $16.67 per $1,000 borrowed. No down payment required. Minimum is $20,000 financed. Maximum $100,000 financed with approval through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Stop in off the Beltline and Rimrock Road or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com and check out the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter area, and you'll walk away with a vehicle that will help maximize your business. This offer expires March 31st, 2026. So hurry up and you'll be driving a new Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van.
It's well known that the boss at the exteriors company is a perfectionist.
It's a gift.
He not only oversees every job, he inspects each aspect of the operation to get to the root of what your project will actually need to be long-lasting.
Call 960-ROOF.
Oh, he's proud of all the reviews.
What can I say? Take a look.
The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to VintageBrewingCompany.com to make a reservation today. That's VintageBrewingCompany.com.
The T. Rowe Price ACC Men's Basketball Tournament. Coverage continues tonight with the semifinals. The madness has arrived to ESPN Radio and to ESPN.
Well, it would appear that I have touched a nerve in the YouTube comments on Matt Laflur. We are getting some pretty strong pushback on the idea that he doesn't coach scared. I think it's a worthwhile discussion that we can have when the 11 o'clock hour begins. But first, it is time for trivia presented by Iron Jock and Cousins Subs.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. It's lobster season at Cousin Subs. Their lobster salad sub is fresh, flavorful, and only here for a limited time. Try it today.
Let's welcome in our contestant. I'm surprised that Jesse didn't pretend that he was caller number 12 or caller 14 and take someone else because he lives in McGuanago. It is Jake in McGuanago. Jake, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Is Jesse ever disrespectful to you because of his whole Muskego versus McGuanago deal?
He likes to joke around, but that's all right. I don't blame him.
Aren't they the same city?
Homer.
Uh-oh.
Homer.
Uh-huh. What?
Yeah, kind of. But
Guess
no,
the answer is no.
They are absolutely not. No.
Arch rivals.
They're the same to me.
Bitter rivals.
Whatever.
Like Packers Bears.
Two ants fighting.
Okay. Two ants fighting.
Jeez.
Yes.
Okay.
Not
All right,
classic
if
8 football ants, I can tell you that much.
If Jake wasn't insulted by
Well
Jesse,
put.
he
Well
might
said.
be now.
Yep.
All right, here we go, Jake.
Yeah.
The category is Who He Play For, Part 2. Question number 1 is this. Chipotle Ben. Tight end Ben Sims is still going strong and reunited with a former Packers coach. Who he play for? Is it the Miami Dolphins, the Dallas Cowboys, or the Kansas City Chips and Salsa?
He's going down to Miami.
Indeed he is. Question 2. is this.
And why is he known as Chipotle Ben, Jason, for those who may be unfamiliar?
Because I bumped into him at a local Chipotle here in Green Bay, told the story on this here program, and then Tausch accused me of stalking him. Disappointed we never got him on before the Packers cut him, which, again, by the way, they could have used him last season after they lost Tucker Kraft. He would have been useful to them. All right, question 2, Jake. Former Jets, Giants, Seahawks, and Raiders quarterback Geno Smith. Oh, apparently we're not just doing Packers players. Geno Smith, who he played for? The Jets, the Giants, or the Chargers?
He's going back to the Jets.
What a wild world circle of life deal that is. Indeed, you are correct. 2 for 2. Question 3. Former Chicago Bears safety and second-round pick Jaquan Brisker. Who he play for? Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, or the New England Patriots?
What was the guy's name again?
Jaquan Brisker. Brisker. Last name Brisker.
And can you just give me the options one more time, please?
Jake. Sure, I'd be happy to.
Sorry.
You're all good. I'm just giving you a hard time. The options for Jaquan Brisker's new team after losing from the Bears. Is he with the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the New England Patriots? Who he play for?
I'm just going to go Steelers.
It's a good decision that you made there. It is correct. He is now with Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh. Jesse, how often does Barkley get this wrong?
All the time. They play it at the start of the season for a few weeks, and there's guys that are, some last guys off the bench, some guys that have floated around and played for almost half the teams in the league, and he never gets them right.
It seems like this would be hard.
There's one guy that's played for the Charlotte Hornets, like he hasn't switched teams for like 8 years, and they put it in every year, and he gets it wrong every time.
I kind of like that. Just like I like that Jake got all 3 right. Jake, you've got 4 entries into our drawing a little bit later in the program. Thanks for playing, and thanks for being nice to Jesse.
All right, thanks. Love you guys.
That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia, where we are very popular in both Muskego and Mugwanago, which are basically the same place. The 11 o'clock hour.
So rude.
Begins. I never really thought of it that way. I'm taking Homer's word for it, and the fact that you begrudgingly agreed with him.
Like, go ahead. Is Milwaukee the same as Chicago? Like, let's do that whole thing. Like,
that's not apples to apples, and you know that. Is
a nice
Minneapolis
try,
the same as St. Paul? Twin Cities. We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes. And if you are in the YouTube comments in Madison or Milwaukee and you wanted your time in the sun, it's coming. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors. Trusted and local experts providing the best quality roof, siding, windows, and doors. Expertly installed and at an affordable price. Get your free estimate today at ridgetopexteriors.com. The Wisconsin Badgers on to the quarterfinal round of the Big Ten tournament in Chicago. Wisconsin winners closer than it should have been. 85-82 over the Washington Huskies yesterday afternoon. A career-high 34 points, part of a double-double for John Blackwell leading the way. Wisconsin, an 8.5-point underdog for this afternoon's contest against 4-seed Illinois at the United Center in Chicago. Tip time scheduled for approximately 1:30. It officially starts 25 minutes after the conclusion of the first game of the day, Michigan and Ohio State. Watch the game on the Big Ten Network and watch along with our ESPN Madison team on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Join us for a special watch-along during the course of the game this afternoon, a second screen experience on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Tonight on 100.5 ESPN, the ACC Tournament semifinals start at 6 o'clock following Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And we, that old Billy Joel song, We Didn't Start the Fire? I think we might have started a bit of a fire. In the YouTube comments about Matt Laflur. Now, Jim is in there pointing out that since 2019, Matt Laflur has a better winning percentage than, again, regular season, but nevertheless, than Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan. Now, Kyle Shanahan...
Yeah, living the first 3 years.
A lot of it is the first 3 years. I don't think anybody's putting Matt Laflur in front of them in terms of their accomplishments. Both have been to Super Bowls. Sean McVay has won a Super Bowl, which Matt Laflur hasn't gotten to one. But, man, people are fired up. Matt Laflur is smart now? What in the world? Terrible use of timeouts. Terrible at challenging plays. Almost always makes the wrong decision on when to go for it and when to punt. The other issue that a lot of people
have...
Can
I clarify that?
They did not. That was kind of the end of the...
No, I will, because they're correct on those points. That's when I've been very upset in the postgame show.
Oh, really?
He's fabulous at being smart with the right play. Yes, I don't know those decisions and that are so bad sometimes. That's where it makes me think you just can't have him as a head coach. He has to be coordinator. He has made decisions that are bad for a high school coach. I don't believe he's aware of what's going on. I think he's just working on the next play and stuff like that, but not enough to get him fired. But his smart has to do with winning football games, not in terms of those issues that were brought up, because some of his decisions have been historically bad, not just bad.
He needs to learn to go for the knockout punch. He's not a good coach in the second half with a lead. Do you agree with those assessments?
No. I mean, everybody has those things you mess up. So, I mean, I get it, but I would not put that at the same level. No.
What happened to you?
What happened to who?
Homer, you were so up in arms about Jordan Love at the end of the season. You wanted Harbaugh to come in and take over as the head coach.
That's true.
Yes,
you're
right.
That's
true. No, hold on.
Good. No,
hold on.
What happened?
I've said before. Do you not listen to anything I said? I also said if you could get Bob Costas to replace me. I think Harbaugh is that good. That doesn't mean I think the other guy is bad. I also would have hired the guy at who was the other one? The guy who won in Cleveland.
Stefanski.
Now, where's he?
Kevin Stefanski.
Yes, I would have hired Stefanski. Yes. What he did at Cleveland is bad. So, do I think the guy here is bad? No, I've said they're good. Not good enough. What inconsistency are you referring to then?
Well, we have adopted our it's good, but is it good enough policy, you and I, which again, the more I'm collaborating with you, the more I become concerned. But
so take that as a compliment.
So do we view Matt Laflur as good, but is he good enough? Like, is that the discussion we have not been having enough of?
I don't know. That's what makes it difficult. I want him to be around. Let's see if he can pull it off, get lucky. So the question isn't, are you better? This is how it got started. Oh, the special teams are better. So what? Are they good enough? Mm-hmm. That's the question. Not better. Are they good enough? Is Lafleur good enough? I don't think so. Is Goody good enough? I don't think so to win a championship. Are they good? Yes. So you give it a shot, and maybe things will hit, and they'll be a little lucky and get it done. That doesn't seem real hard to me. I understand it's difficult. The 49ers have lived this. They've had good.
So wait, do you not
what
think
have they
that
won
Kyle
since
Shanahan
Seifert?
is good enough? Are you saying that Kyle Shanahan's not good enough? He's been to 2 Super Bowls.
I think he is good enough. I think he's good enough. But they could have the same discussion. Is he good enough compared to Bill Walsh? No. Good enough to Seifert, who was wise enough to follow Bill Walsh immediately. Had most of the same stuff.
First of all, if you haven't seen the rise of the 49ers, which was quite frankly what I think they should have done with the documentary on Netflix about the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, which was they did it as a 4-part series. There was way more to be told about that hockey team. I wanted more Mark Johnson, for example. But the rise of the 49ers is quite good, and it is interesting. It's got a bunch of Bill Walsh's not only old interviews, but like videos that are clearly on like VHS tape that he would record of him giving speeches to the team. It's really good. Look, if you're going to say, is he good enough compared to Bill Walsh, that's like I don't agree with your Bob Costas comp, but whoever the GOAT of, is it Francesa, is it Mad Dog, whoever the GOAT of sports talk of all time is, that's like comparing you. You're still really, really good, and you're the GOAT of Wisconsin sports talk, but I don't know if you've achieved the level of renown that some of the... You're not Howard Stern, right? And
no, I agree with that. I'm just saying in San Francisco, they may make that comparison, which makes it even tougher to follow there. They may say about Shanahan what I say about Goody and Lafleur, even though he has achieved a higher level, and I think is better. But to San Francisco, they probably have the exact same complaint as I do, like, yeah, better what? So he got to a Super Bowl? When did that be good enough for this group? Because the 49ers are not the 49ers. They were made by the greatness of Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh and his group leaves. Guess what they've been? Worse than what the Packers have been since Lombardi left.
So when it's interesting because earlier you were mentioning what a sad story it is of Jerry Jones and the Cowboys not having been to an NFC championship. Like the Cowboys and the 49ers, and look, we are myopic when it comes to the NFL across ESPN Wisconsin. We're focused on the Packers, and rightfully so. But for as frustrated as Packers fans are, where are 49ers fans? Like whoever the equivalent of you, GOAT of Wisconsin Sports Talk Radio, I don't know who the equivalents are in the Bay Area and in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but what is it like for them? What is that conversation like about the Cowboys and the 49ers? Because they're kind of in their... I mean, they've had more success than the Packers had in the 70s and 80s, certainly, but like they're both on 3 decades without a title, right? The 49ers' last Super Bowl championship was the one they won with Steve Young, right? And your guy Mariucci, who was good but not good enough. He's your Matt Lafleur comp. I'm just curious because we deal with Packers fans every day. I'd be fascinated to know what it's like in Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose. What do you think it's like there?
Well, I can tell you what is in Dallas. No, Dallas fans are soft. Cowboy fans are soft. There's no other word for it. They've put up with an incredible level of crap because of Jerry Jones.
Well, wait a minute. What are they supposed to do? They can't force Jerry Jones to sell a team.
Sure they can. They should be saying he needs to sell the team. There should be signs at every game. There should be
He's
people
just gonna
doing it all the time.
It to his kids. He's not going to sell the team.
Fine, he can do whatever he wants, but the presentation of the fans of their displeasure for what he has done has not been done to a degree that I think is appropriate.
How closely have you followed the displeasure of Cowboys fans?
Well, no, because if that existed, it would get attention. There's no attention to it because they don't do it. They probably give it up.
I do think that your point that you made very early on about him, and he has basically admitted it, right? Like flat out admitted it, like the entertainment business aspect, and he wants the Cowboys to be talked about. He does seem to treat that as more important than actual winning football games. That is a fair critique by you.
His actions would support that. I don't really listen to what he says as much.
Would you say you're a good listener overall?
Depends who's talking and what they're talking about. If they get to their point quickly, I'm a very good listener. Aaron Rodgers says I'm a bad listener, and I said what I'd say. If you talk better, I'd listen better.
Okay. What would Nancy
he didn't buy
say?
That. She would say I'm a bad listener.
Okay.
Period. And leave it at that.
Just thought I would double check on that. All right. I want to get back to this coming up because we started it and then we kind of got away from it. What our discussion about special players was spurred on by was comparing the 2010 team to the 2026 team that we're expecting. You wrote down your list? Do you have your 2010 special players list? Did you write that down somewhere, or can you take the commercial break?
I do
to
not
figure
have
it
a
out?
list. I mean, I want to defer to you on where you think.
Well, I
these
think
players,
I would like to discuss
Jennings
them.
You brought up.
Yeah, I would like to discuss them with you.
All right, I can do that. All right, let's do that.
So
nice tease.
That's thank you. That is my tease. How many special players were on the 2010 team? And then compare that to where the 2026 team appears to be headed. We will do that coming up after I tell you about the Wilde Legal Group. We're so excited to have them as a partner, and I am so excited because it's finally time for me to get my act together and do my estate planning. They specialize in estate planning, wills, trusts, probate, elder care, and special needs planning. They offer a custom, personalized experience, not the cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all solutions that some places offer. And look, they say this, and I couldn't agree with it more. Estate planning is uncomfortable. That's why I haven't done it. I've put it off. I don't want to think about it. But it's also a necessity, and that's why I've fallen short. I need to be looking out for Paula and the girls much better, and that's why I'm excited that Walney's on board. They make it smooth, easy, and as painless as possible. They take care of you from start to finish. Their motto is lawyering the way it should be. Clear communication, personal service, modern approach. They've won tons of awards, including Best Lawyers in America, and Attorney Walney has been named a 5-star estate planner more times than any other lawyer in Wisconsin. Plus, they offer legal support for the transition into a nursing home or assisted living, and they can help with elder planning and special needs children transitioning to adulthood as well. So find out more at walneylegal.com. That is WALNY legal.com. Start the conversation no matter what phase you're in. Walney Legal, WALNY legal.com. More Wilde and Tausch with Steve the Homer True as our cousin sub of the day next. So stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience, you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app.
This loss is as painful to Packer fans as you can ever imagine.
A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip. Available in Apple and Android app stores.
I have no evidence behind that whatsoever. It's just a feeling I have, and that might just be because I'm scared of this rivalry in the playoffs.
Your one-stop shop for ESPN Wisconsin. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download it today.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
At Associated Bank, we get life gets complicated. So banking, it should be easy to get. That's why our tools speak your language. Automated savings, it's saving automatically for anything. Digital controls, you lose your card, you're still in control. Turn it off, then on, all on the app. And Money Monitor, you know where your money goes, like those long forgotten subscriptions. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Spring is here, and living with your old, drafty, foggy, dirty, hard-to-open, bad windows is no longer an option. You deserve better windows and doors. At Siding Unlimited, we install top-of-the-line wood, vinyl, and fiberglass windows with options to fit your style, color, and design choices. Built for energy efficiency, installed by our professional craftsmen at Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited. Experience, integrity, craftsmanship. Visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
All right, Homer, did you do your homework?
Yes, Mom.
All right. Who were the? that was worthy of the Kay Adams laugh. Who were the special players in your estimation on the 2010 Green Bay Packers?
All right, we start with offense. Of course, it starts with Aaron Rodgers, and then it's Greg Jennings, and that's where you didn't have him, but But you have James Jones, and you have Jordy Nelson, and you have your Michael Finley. But I don't think you could, at that point, say they were special.
No.
So I would go with Jennings and Rogers, but there were a number of others that would make it. And then defensively, Charles Woodson, Clay Matthews, and Nick Collins.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
And I don't think B.J. Raji deserves that kind of praise, but he was really good. He's still one of the most.
You have those other. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's okay. You are who you are, and I do this with
keep going.
The other guy all the time. He was really good. He is one of the most mysterious, and I don't know if anybody ever actually talked to him after he left either. Like, I've always been fascinated. Like, what happened? I know he had said he had a couple of relatives that were sick and he wanted to take care of them, but he just sort of disappeared. And he was. I'll always. He's one of those mysterious stories from my career. He could have played much longer than he did. But while he was really good, I don't think he gets special either. All right, so basically what we're saying is right now.
Hold on, do I need to add Clifton? I feel like the offensive line, I mean, Tausch talked about this, but I mean, who of those? Clifton, Sitton, any of them? Clifton, I guess.
So I think in terms of
special?
That offensive line was obviously very good. Our buddy Brian Bulaga was a rookie, youngest player to ever start a Super Bowl. I would say Clifton was definitely special. It's just hard because offensive linemen, it's a little less tangible how much they tilt the field in your direction. But sure, let's include Cliffy. So that gives you 6 now.
And I might put Tramon Williams too.
Well, he was becoming special for sure. And was certainly special in the postseason. But, like, remember, a year earlier, like, that was when Al Harris tore up his knee during a game in the 2009 season, and they were able to move on from him in 10 because Tramon was becoming the player he would become. But I think it was another year later before we really realized that he was special. He was special in waiting, kind of like Jordy.
All right.
Right? On each side of the ball.
Yeah.
So not only did you have those guys that were calling special, which is 6, including the quarterback, and I think that's a major difference in how we're viewing the Packers of 2026, is that we're not willing to put Jordan in that category yet. Whereas we're saying that Rodgers, during the 2010 season, truly became special, and then you saw him at his most special in that win in Atlanta, when it may have been the greatest quarterback.
Then we have a
I've
thing.
seen.
Yeah. So, like, you got, all right, who's number 1? And then who on this team is number 1? And then all right, so Aaron Rodgers is number 1 on the 2010 team, right? So whoever you want to pick. And then who's the equal on this team? I kind of want to pick
Charles Woodson over him by a small margin. And then by, in 2011, then it's obviously Rodgers, right? That's the year he becomes an MVP.
So you have Woodson and you have Micah Parsons.
Yes. And then we have Rodgers, who's a close second, in my opinion.
All right. And
then who do I pair him up with? Tucker Kraft? Like, that's the problem with where we're at. And I think it would appear that I've also gotten pushback on putting Xavier McKinney on my list. So if I don't have Xavier McKinney on my list, I'm down to 2. Right?
It gets the comparison gets bad. Right? It's
right.
Like,
which is
no
why,
contest.
And in fairness, that 2010 team that we're talking about, all these people that were special, they had to win their last 2 games to get some help to get into the playoffs as the final seed, which is what the Matt Lafleur teams of 23, 24, and 25 have been, are the last seed. Now it's 7th instead of 6th, but the point remains, for as many special guys as they had, in our opinion, they still almost missed the playoffs they won the year they won the title. What does that tell us? It's really hard.
Well, but it also tells us it's hard, and it tells us how special 2011 should have been. and was until the
really
very
good
end.
point. That's a really good point. Yep.
I mean, we have two teams that should have won back-to-back titles in 96, 97, and 2010, 2011, right? And that's...
Yeah, they could have gone.
2011.
Frankly, I've always believed they could have won 3 titles in 5 years, 10, 11, and 14.
14, yeah.
And that, obviously, they only won the one. I guess my question now becomes this. If we view this specialness quotient the way we do, how confident are you that with Tucker Kraft, and by the way, this goes back to the argument that I get pilloried for by some about the Packers are a Super Bowl team if they hadn't lost the 2 players they absolutely could not afford to lose. And I don't include Jordan Love in there because I think they could have won with Malik Willis if they still had Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft. That underscores how much those 2 injuries submarine them in 2025. And it makes me wonder now where they're at roster-wise in 2026, how truly close they are to winning the whole thing they are. Because I'm still...
Yeah, I don't take the same position that you do. But
which
not
is
strongly
what?
As you do about
what is your position?
They wouldn't. They'd have fallen short, but they would have done better than they did.
They lose the NFC
They weren't
Championship
as
game in
elite,
Seattle?
as you say. Nah, I don't even know that they make it that far. But that's, the way they collapsed after the injuries, it just tells me something about the team too. I mean, what irritates me is like they could have won the division. If they were special, they'd have won the division last year with the help they would have gotten, and they couldn't do it. They not only couldn't do it, they were pathetic in terms of what happened. If that team had more special, they'd have won the division last year, and everybody would have talked about how lucky they were, but they took advantage of it. They didn't. They're beaten by 1 million, and then no one mentions that. If they were as good as you say with them, the people that got hurt, they should have been better and been able to finish the deal to some degree without them.
Okay. But again, what we've just established is that those 2 players are the only ones that we are unanimously willing to put on the special list. And they lost them both. Tucker Kraft was right, but we also the collapse part of this, one of the things Goody keeps talking about is how they didn't win games late, right? Well, when they had those 2 dudes, they did, right? Not Cleveland. I understand Cleveland. Cleveland was an aberration. But that game that they win in Arizona, remember when Matt Lafleur was going to kick the field goal and then he calls timeout and then Jordan gives him a look and they decide to go for it? Who did Jordan Love throw the pass to that locked up the win there? Tucker Kraft, right? In Detroit, they close out a game offensively. It ends up being Dontavion Wicks who catches the 4th down pass. But they closed out that game, too, in Detroit on a big 4th down play. And then essentially, myself, but more Jeff Halfley, managed to get Enter Sandman by Metallica played at a Packers game because they had the ultimate closer like Mariano Rivera in Micah Parsons. And then they lose him, and then we're killing him for not closing out games. Do they lose to the Bears if Micah Parsons is healthy in either of those games? No. I don't think they do. So, again, what are we talking about here? We're talking about how important those
should they have been able to win
are.
with... Well, no. Well, but when they had the lead they had against the Bears in the playoffs, with that kind of lead, should they have been able to close it out? Yes. When they played Baltimore without it, should they have been able to limit them to less than 41 points? Yes.
And 740 rushing yards? Yes. Again, I think underlooked are 2 things from the way they closed the season. One, they didn't have their best offensive lineman, and their offensive lineman wasn't very good to begin with, their offensive line group.
Yeah.
But without Zach Tom, they were not very good. Secondly, the guy that you loved so much as a rookie that we talked about early that needs to elevate his game to be special in year 3.
Didn't do diddly squat.
Right, and he got hurt in the third quarter when they were up 21-3 in that playoff game. I also don't think that they collapse in the fourth quarter and give up 25 fourth quarter points if they at least have Edger and Cooper on the field. He was playing his best game of the year. Now, again, we don't live in the past. We live in the present, and we're looking toward the future of what these Packers are going to be in 2026. But they've got some guys that need to be special. And you could argue, if you want to push back on me, I think you can make a very valid argument to say that last year Xavier McKinney wasn't special or he wasn't special enough. He has to be more special this year. Edger and Cooper has to be more special this year. Christian Watson has to be healthy all season because if he's special and Tucker Kraft is special, you know who else is going to look special? The quarterback. But again, it's hard. And if you don't stay healthy, no one is going to be deep enough to survive losing their most special players. They just aren't. And when I look at where the Packers are, they don't have enough special players to begin with. They need more or more guys to elevate to a special place. Anything we glossed
we're going to
over
get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
What?
Are you a skeptic or a believer that they will become these players that they need to be special will be special?
I'm iffy, but
yeah,
I think there's a possibility.
That sounds more skeptical than believery.
We'd have to go it on one by one. I would say, what am I saying again?
Like the guys that we're not
I
putting
think
in
I'm
the
more
special
positive.
category. Okay?
Yeah.
Love, Watson. I'll let you say McKinney, even though I put him in the special group.
Yeah, that's good.
Cooper.
Yeah.
How confident are you that those 4 guys can join the 2 unanimous specials in Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons?
I don't think all 4, but I think some will. My concern is that even with the some will, I think it's just tougher. I think it's tougher in the division. I think it's tougher in the NFC because of where Seattle has become.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things could occur in a positive way, and they could still fall short. But yes, some of those will become special. Yes.
To me, the biggest one is Cooper. You were so giddy about him, and I thought rightfully so.
I'm not counting on him.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I thought year 2 would be far more impactful than it turned out to be. All right, we need to get. I've been short shrifting Jesse all week on Wonelli, so I'm going to give him a chance to make up for lost time by getting to him at a reasonable time.
I've just been watching basketball here instead, so that's fine if you want to keep going. We're good. Big Ten.
Well, and you can promote your watch along that you're doing at 1:30 as well.
You know these games don't mean diddly. You understand that, right?
They mean
They're
diddly
just
for
fiddling
some
and diddling
teams.
for fun.
It meant diddly to Miami, Ohio yesterday.
Oh, right. And they're
what
still
game
in.
are you watching right now?
You watching Michigan, Ohio State?
I got Michigan, Ohio State on, and then the A-10 game, we've got George Washington and St. Louis playing. Yeah,
I give up. You're hopeless.
You're watching
that.
George Washington against St.
on
Louis?
USA Network. Yeah, A-10 hoops.
And you've chosen to acknowledge that you're not giving the show that you're producing its undivided attention that it deserves from you because you're watching GW St. Louis?
Jason, he feels like he's done this long enough. He can bob and weave a little bit and he'll still be fine. You know, it's got Homer on, and Homer will never shut up.
Yeah.
So just watch some hoops.
So far, I've been proven right today. This has been a pretty good formula for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, you'll have to tear yourself away from the college basketball you've been monitoring to do Wonelli after I tell you.
The only thing that matters about St. Louis is they got a great coach, and he's decided he's going to stay there. So
Indiana State
game
coach.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Who's their coach?
Whatever. Sorry,
who's this great coach?
Jason.
Short, plump, bald guy who used to be at Indiana State.
Shetke, Sletke,
bald guy.
Short key, whatever.
Sounds like Rick
well
Majerus to me. Who, God, I miss basketball and life, not necessarily in that order.
St. Louis has a type, there's no doubt.
I do too.
Tune in to Behind the Bucks if you're not too busy watching college basketball conference tournament games, and you can listen to the Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Charlie Behrens narrates this one, which is about the Bucks taking on the world in the games in 1987. You can find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. Jesse stops watching basketball and starts keeping it real with Wonelli. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions apply.
You never know what to expect on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I'm conducting a social experiment because I think LinkedIn is a vomit site. So what I've done is I literally go to ChatGPT and I say, write me a LinkedIn post about X. These are the most engaged posts I've had on LinkedIn in forever. I'm getting new followers from it because LinkedIn is a cesspool.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
My husband had purchased something at another store. He was very unhappy with the quality of it. We went into Chalmers and just started looking around and kind of got inspired to do something together that was unique for us.
It really isn't any more expensive to do a one-of-a-kind custom piece.
I love it. It's beautiful. I get a lot of compliments on it.
Turned out how I hoped it would.
It really makes me feel good to wear.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law offices.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 27 locations in this great state. Headquartered in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paints you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Get your team together. Softball is back for 2026. Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Adult Summer Softball Leagues is now open. Men's, women's, and all-gender slow pitch and women's fast pitch leagues are forming now for the summer season. MSCR Softball Leagues offer fun for every level of player and welcome all participants. Spend your summer evenings with us on the Ball Diamond. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
We're on the Bucks.
They're showing Giannis that we are doing everything possible to keep you happy.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The Bucks have the power to force Giannis to say, I want out.
Madison's home of the Bucks. 100.5 ESPN.
Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
By the way, the St. Louis coach's name is John Schertz. And I think he just agreed to a contract extension to stay in St. Louis, according to what the TV just said.
By the way, it's an embarrassment to Rick Majerus to compare the two in any way as far as eating.
Oh. My apologies.
Like comparing a dog and an elephant. I don't care how big the dog is, he's not an elephant. Have I made myself clear?
Yeah, very.
Whoa, Nelly!
Crystal clear. Indeed. As crystal clear as the floor was for the Big 12 conference tournament that is being replaced. Have you guys seen this?
I did see this story, actually. I know that's surprising.
So they had this really awesome LED glass floor that lit up and did all kinds of fun things for fans that are consuming the Big 12 conference tournament. They used it for the women's tournament last week, and there were some complaints that some of the players had migraines and they were slipping. And then this week, the slipping thing became more and more prevalent, to the point that after the quarterfinal round of the Big 12 tournament last night, all the coaches got together of the 4 teams remaining, and they were in unanimous agreement. They wanted to swap out the LED floor, thinking it was unsafe, and put a traditional wood floor back in for tonight's semifinals, when the 4 teams left in the Big 12 tournament play. Homer, if the Big East decided to unveil an LED floor at Madison Square Garden and then made this change in the middle of it, how would you and everyone at Marquette feel about it?
I don't care about anything but winning. I believe they're changing the floor because it was slippery. The concept of changing the floor for any other reason than that is crazy. I think Jim McElvain talked about kind of floors where you can put you can put things on it that people can't see there, they can see on TV or whatever. If they're lying that it was changed because people didn't like it versus the slippery part, they made a mistake. I mean, come on. They're not floors anymore. Look at Oregon, all the different ones that have existed before this. But if it's slippery, you got to make a change.
So help me understand this, especially you as a college basketball savant there, Homer. I've seen this a lot now, these LED floors. I don't watch as much basketball as I may have once watched. What are they? What substance are they made of that they're able to change the appearance? What are they? What is the surface they're playing on? Is it like a plastic? What is it?
I have no idea.
This one was a new innovative thing that the Big 12 brought out for the conference tournament. And it was like a glass type floor.
But there's not. This is not unusual.
This particular thing is unique. There's high schools that can do the projections onto the floor from the rafters of your gym, and you can see, and you do a light show on the floor. On TV, they can now project the first down line on football broadcast. They can project advertisements or the shot clock and things like that. But as far as the in-arena experience and playing on a floor that is, for everybody there, lighting up and having that,
No, they've done this in the WNBA. They've done it in the NBA, haven't they? Like, they've played on these WNBA teams, I'm fairly confident have played on LED floors. I'm just fascinated by what the risk is, because I would think that this slippery issue would be fairly commonplace. I would be nervous playing on it. I'm very curious. I'm going to do some research. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly! Then while you do your research, I wanted to ask you about Emmanuel Wilson, but now you're doing research, and
I can
good on this.
I can multitask.
All right.
He's an expert on that. Go ahead.
Emmanuel Wilson going westward to join the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. I checked out channel3000.com last night.
So you know what I think.
I saw Jason's headline that said, this might be a significant thing for the Green Bay Packers. You said it a little better than I just said it, but Jason, why?
Yeah, I think they may regret it.
Why is it significant?
Yeah, I think there's a mentality, and I understand it, that running backs are a dime a dozen and you can just replace them. They're easily replaced. There seemed to be some measure of a renaissance after Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs and somebody else had big seasons. Derrick Henry had big seasons a couple years ago. And then last year, those guys all kind of came back to earth a little bit. But look, Aaron Jones, for example, 5th-round pick out of Texas El Paso. Did anyone think that when they drafted him, he would become the Packers' 3rd leading rusher all time? Probably not. So I understand the take of they're going to miss Emmanuel Wilson is not necessarily a great take. But here's the issue. You got Josh Jacobs, who dealt with injuries throughout last season. Your theoretical, number 2, because, look, I like Chris Brooks a ton. He's a 3. He's a guy that can come in on 3rd down and protect your quarterback. He's a guy that can play fullback for you. He's versatile. He plays on special teams. He's a good guy to have on your team. He's not your number 2 running back, I don't think. The guy that they would theoretically have to do that right now has played in 1 of a possible 36 games. 1 out of 36. Emmanuel Wilson would have cost him. He's costing the Seahawks $2.1 million. Homer's guy, John Schneider, makes smart signings. He's got a bunch of running backs to choose from in his backfield right now in Seattle, but I think there's a chance that they're going to regret not keeping Emmanuel Wilson. The guy has been productive for them. He's improved a ton from where he came from to where he is. I thought this was a no-brainer to bring him back, and I was surprised. And it's not, I know I have biases. Everyone likes to point them out. I usually acknowledge them. Emmanuel Wilson is not one of my guys. I am not biased toward him because I like him. I think that this is the type of small signing that when you don't do it, you are opening yourself up for unnecessary risk. Now back to my search about LED glass floors.
Homer, anything you want to add there?
No, I'm pretty comfortable with all that was said.
Great. Whoa, Nelly! Last thing then, with Tausch not here, the Oscars are on Sunday night, the Academy Awards. Tausch, very anti-Oscars. Homer, will you watch the Academy Awards on Sunday night at all?
I will probably a little bit. I always like to do it to find out how old I am.
What do you mean?
It's like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I didn't know who that is. Who's that? Oh, when you're younger, the Oscars were huge. And they may still be for huge of it, but I don't know. But that's why I do it. I would say 60% of the people I'll go, who is that? Who is that? So.
Jason, do you
Hoosiers will win again. It wins every year.
Hoosiers?
Hoosiers will win again. It's been 37 straight years. Hoosiers, the picture of the year. You missed that? All right.
That's just
maybe I watch a different version.
I feel like
those aren't the Oscars. Those are the Homers.
Yeah. We should do the Homers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Homer should have his own awards with his own little statue. It'd be good. Give him out at the end of the Packers season on Green Bay game night.
It would appear that EuroLeague teams use the LED glass floors. It would appear that the NBA used it for the All-Star Game festivities, but not for the game.
Yeah.
Which I think is noteworthy. Unrivaled, it appears, has used some LED floors.
It's moving in that direction.
I mean, it is cool to see on TV. Like, it was really fun to watch the LED floor. It just probably wasn't the best time to bring it out for a conference tournament. Do it in, like, a Thanksgiving tournament.
Yeah,
see how it goes.
My question would be, I would hate, and this is a little bit like the natural grass versus artificial turf argument in the NFL. I don't know if there's enough data to be able to say if it's more or less dangerous to suffer a knee injury or any sort of injury on. But I fear change generally. So I'm going to stick with the hardwood. I don't care if my fan experience gets to see Homer's Dunkin' Donuts where he gets his coffee logo lit up on the floor or not. I would rather make sure that players are on the safest surface possible. All right, that is it for Wonelli. Jesse, are you ready to pick this week's trivia winner before we get to Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints?
I can tell you there's an upset brewing in Pittsburgh with George Washington up 14 in the second half on St. Louis.
So your admission
I
now.
really needed that. You got any
is that you were distracted
international
by
men's
basketball?
lacrosse stories you can tell us?
I will go get the cheese fry helmet with our chips to
So
draw.
you will admit that your basketball viewing prevented you from doing your job.
It's a bad look for me. Yeah.
I appreciate your acknowledgments. We'll wrap up the weekend, wrap up the show with Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. If Jesse remembers to hit the button after he's done watching basketball, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Brewers baseball is back.
First pitch swinging and a drive to deep left. It's way back and way gone for Brandon Lockridge. First home run of the spring.
You're listening to Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, and it's another Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Well, I'm down in Chicago for the conference tournament, and I hope I get to see a bunch of our fans here throughout the weekend. But if you're not joining me in Chicago this weekend, then maybe you're at home getting started on a big paint project. Well, if that's the case, I recommend you do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Holman Lindsay to get the job done right. To get connected with the perfect pro painter for what your project calls for, just stop into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location and ask. The team at Holman Lindsay will help find the best pro for the job. From 70-degree sunny spring days to freezing rain and snow, Holman Lindsay is the one paint you can trust to withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round, or all week long, as we've experienced this week. That's what makes it Wisconsin's best paint. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at holmanlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday, coming up to close out today's show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. The Badgers survive in their first matchup of the Big Ten tournament, staving off the Washington Huskies 85-82. Wisconsin led by as many as 18 in the second half, but a furious rally forced the Badgers to make a defensive stand in the final seconds. The real UW will square off with Illinois in the quarterfinals today at 1:30 on the Big Ten Network.
Order today and get 0% interest until 2032 at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Upgrade now, pay no interest until 2032. Visit PellaWI.com.
Friday nights taste better at the Bridges. The Bridges Bar and Restaurant is back with a classic Friday fish fry, plus non-fish specials and prime rib. Great food, great drinks, and a perfect way to kick off the weekend. Fridays at the table and on the course at the Bridges Golf Course in Madison.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security Solutions offers state-of-the-art home and business security systems tailored to your needs. From video surveillance to home and business automation, to find out how J&K Security can help secure what matters most in your life, visit jksecurity.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Jesse, before we wrap things up with Feel Good Friday, pick a winner.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wilde. I have a lot of chips in the cheese fry helmet for Wilde and Tausch trivia this week.
How's GW doing?
Up by 7. Congratulations. First-time contestant Sam in Madison. Yesterday's Who He Play For contestant. Nice win for Sam.
So, obviously, we were very sad last week about the passing of Bob Harlan. I know you guys played my little thing that I did for Channel 3 when I was on the show last Friday. There's nothing feel good about that, but they have rescheduled the celebration of his life. It was supposed to be Monday, but with the big snowstorm about to hit, they have moved it to the following Monday, the 23rd. And while we will miss Bob, and I certainly will, on a personal level, I am glad that fans will have an opportunity to celebrate him because, and obviously I got pretty emotional when I talked about it the first day there with Homer, on his show shortly after I had gotten the news and after it became public. I'm glad that his life will be celebrated because it is a very, very well-lived life that deserves to be celebrated, and the Packers are not what they are without him. So it will be Monday the 23rd. I don't know how that fits your schedule compared to this coming Monday would have fit your schedule. But I look forward to being there, and I know there will be a lot of people that will be there to celebrate his life and the impact he had on your favorite football team. That is it for us today. We thank Steve the Homer True for being our cousin sub of the day. Split shift for you, right? You still have your show tonight.
Yes, Gary Ellerson. And there's no guarantee that the Packers would have ever won another Super Bowl without Bob Harlan. You can hope that they would have. They had not moved in that direction, even though they had changed president. And it's quite possible the Packers would have no more Super Bowls since Vince Lombardi, if not for Bob Harlan.
That's it for us today. Have a great weekend. Watch out for that big snowstorm. I'm worried about it myself. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available